Well, it's because Justin went after me.
It's because Justin went after me. Boom, 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 boom. I like that part. Justin went after me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, sorry. Dick's girlfriend is Maddox's ex. Oh, bro, you can't be serious. Is that real? Is that real? Bro, you can't be serious. No, it's real? Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, man. That is painful.
Ensler. No.
Please don't. Oh god. All right, let's take a look at this video that Maddox made. Do you guys know who Maddox is?
There's a man on the internet.
Okay, so, you know, young me liked to look at Maddox's... When I was like 10, I liked Maddox's website. You guys know Maddox's website? It's like the best... It's called like the... Let me see if I can pull it up here. It's called the best page on the internet. Best page in the universe. So I used to read this site when I was like 10 years old. 10, 11, 12. I thought that Maddox was hilarious. Then a few years after I started streaming, well, not a few years, like I've only been streaming for like 2. But a couple of years after I started streaming, you guys know I do the banana shit. You know, I put the banana filter on. I found out that there's another streamer on Twitch that uses the exact same banana filter. And it's Maddox. Okay? And you know, he's a nice guy. He's a decent guy. I don't know much about him in recent years. I know him and Dick Masterson had a falling out. Him and probably Vito probably don't get along. I think I didn't even know that him and Dick Masterson knew each other. Like I'm friendly with Dick Masterson as well. I'm friendly with Maddox. You know, which was like a huge moment for me. I was like, bro, I used to read your shit when I was like 10. But you know, so anyways, I had no idea that they had a falling out. Do you guys know who Justin Whang is? Justin Whang makes, he's a pretty prolific YouTuber. He's a pretty based YouTuber as well. Makes some really, really cool stuff. He'll report on really weird shit that's going on the internet. I love it. You know how I love weird shit on the internet. So, basically, so Maddox made a video where he said, is Justin Whang a plagiarist and a hack or just a plagiarist? I figured we could take a look at this. I have no horse in this game. Is that the saying? I have no horse in this game? Is that what they say? Somebody let me know if I'm getting that saying right. No skin in this race, right? In this game. Okay, whatever. Is Justin Whang a plagiarist and a hack or just a plagiarist? If you're not familiar with Justin Whang, that's normal. It's because while he may have amassed a relatively large following online, he did it largely off the backs of others. Justin himself calls himself a meme smith and has built quite a following by posting and producing other people's content. He uses written pieces about deep written internet lore, produce videos without crediting most of his sources. That's plagiarism. But there's a dark side to Justin that most people don't know about, and I'm exposing him and his shady friends and acquaintances in this video. This video is so bad, it's hilariously bad. Uh-oh. All right, we'll see. I'm friendly with all people in this conflict, so I have no skin in this game or a horse in this race or whatever, okay?
There's a man on the internet who has an...
No pigs in this pen. I have no pigs in this pen. I have no skin on this horse. This horse has no game. True. Okay.
Incredible memory. He's able to remember the names, dates, and times of specific events that occurred over 30 years ago. He even remembers the names of news anchors on channels...
I have no dogs in this pizza parlor. Okay, shut up.
30 years ago. He even remembers the names of news anchors on channels these events broadcast on, even though he was only a child when these events happened. He's also an incredible jumper who's able to jump on any bandwagon, no matter how small it is. But unfortunately, there is a dark side to this person. He's addicted to drama. He spreads rumors about people he doesn't know with facts he doesn't have. He does this in a secret bid to silence and deplatform people he doesn't like. For the first time ever, I'm about to expose who this person is and what he's been up to in the dark underbelly of the internet. Welcome to a very special Tales from the Internet. Welcome to the best show in the universe. I'm Maddox. I'm about to tell you a story of a YouTuber named Justin Whang. For those of you who don't know, Justin is a YouTuber, self-proclaimed internet historian, and tragically, a member of a nu metal band. And no, that's not just a joke, he really is a member of a nu metal band. Nu metal, also known as not metal, is the soundtrack of being grounded for not eating your vegetables. It's all the things you like from rap, and all the things you like from metal, left on the cutting room floor, so all you have left is crap.
I feel like I missed something already.
It's one of the only genres of music where the Wikipedia entry has an entire section dedicated to nu metal bands who insist they're not nu metal, including Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, and Staind. In an Artist Direct interview, the vocalist for Staind said, "If we get called a nu metal band one more time, I don't even know what I'm gonna do." Staind's Wikipedia page calls them a nu metal band. Even the bassist of Rage Against the Machine publicly apologized for Limp Bizkit, saying, "I feel really bad that we inspired such bullshit." And Dave Mustaine of Megadeth said in an interview that he'd rather have his eyelids pulled out than listen to nu metal. But despite the genre being dead since 2009, Justin's nu metal band still inexplicably exists. The band is called Jinx, and no, that's not named after the blackface Pokemon or the children's game.
Jinx, you want me a soda?
Ooh. In an interview with the lead singer of Justin's band, the inspiration for the name came from his interest in witchcraft, and because he thinks that he has bad luck. Wow, that's pretty metal, I guess, because when I think of metal, I think of teenage girls casting spells on each other.
You're a witch!
Yes, a band composed of a bunch of guys in their 30s took the concept of a jinx pretty seriously. This was literally the plot of an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Jinx.
Kids, you may be wondering why 5 adults in their 30s would
I don't understand why he's hating on Justin's band. If you think Justin is like a plagiarist and a hack, I'm not sure what his point is bringing up his band is. Am I right? Just feels like, I don't know. I don't understand the point. I don't understand the point of bringing up his band. They might be stealing songs? Oh, that's a good point, Jenny. Maybe it is. Well, it's still supposed to be a funny video, right? I guess so. Nu metal is bad, but it's not morally wrong. No music is morally wrong, unless it's new age music, because no effort goes into new age music. I will fucking die on this hill, okay? People who make country music put more effort into their music than new age artists, okay? What do new age music artists do? They take like a little motif, and they make it sound like all like, you know, spa relaxy thingy, and then they repeat that same motif over and over again, okay? That's it. That's all they do. Okay? New age musicians put absolutely no fucking work into their shit. Goddamn. They make it all on a computer, too. They don't even use real instruments. Take the same fucking motif. You know, maybe they'll reverse it one time. And then they'll just keep repeating the same shit over and over again. Okay? When I do yoga, I don't fucking listen to new age music. I listen to hip hop, okay? Or R&B. Don't listen to bullshit fucking new age music.
take a jinx so seriously?
Good question. They call themselves nu metal with a New York attitude and cite Limp Bizkit as one of their inspirations. At one point, Justin made a video spitting some hard truth about why your friends support more popular bands and not yours, saying something I actually agree with, that you should earn your fans.
Personally, when my band plays, I don't want them to come out to a show unless they're actually into the music. You gotta keep fucking working on it and not putting so much pressure on them to support you.
But because Justin is a giant hypocrite, he also says things like this.
Come see me on fucking tour, you fucking assholes.
I don't know that that's like a point against him. That's what you do is like if you make content art or music or whatever, like you kind of like encourage people to come see you, right? Like, I don't know.
Been jinxed. Now, as much fun as it is to clown on bad music, the reason I'm mentioning it is because Justin has something else in common with shitty derivative rap rock, and that's shitty derivative YouTube channels. Justin is better known for his YouTube series called Tales from the Internet, where he chronicles famous people and events like he's some sort of historian of the internet, or internet historian, if you will, despite the fact that other channels were already doing the same thing. But more
Oh
on
shit. Okay, interesting.
that later. He first launched his channel by doing a series of Let's Play videos that failed to get any traction because they were indistinguishable from the many other Let's Play videos out there, save for the fact that he occasionally drinks with his pinky out. And when people weren't interested in watching him play video games in his depressingly dark room,
It's kind of boring.
he resorted to the lazy comedic device that's a last resort for every hack comedian and YouTuber when they don't have a personality: getting drunk. While it can sometimes work, it only works when the underlying person or material is funny, not because of the alcohol, but usually in spite of it. But unfortunately, Justin isn't funny. His comedic shtick is comprised of 1-second callbacks where he points out something he just said.
But what it actually refers to is groping. I like how I put my hands to the camera when I said groping.
And this really bad impression of Trump, I guess. I don't even know who he's parodying.
Emails, Aleppo. What the hell is Aleppo anyway? I thought this was America. We don't speak no Italian here.
And to make things worse, his videos are punctuated with a lack of polish that simultaneously comes across as lazy and contemptuous of his audience. For example, he forgot to set his phone to silent while recording, got a text message, and then decided to keep these takes. And this has happened multiple times.
PewDiePie, I'm not fucking Sam Hyde, I'm fucking nobody. Oh, I forgot to turn my phone off again, but yeah, I'm just white supremacist Nazi. I guess I should have turned my fucking phone off again. I'm a fucking popular guy. You know,
Awesome. And then there is this video where he constantly cracks himself up while mispronouncing Spanish words, but he decided to include this nauseating take where he starts wheezing and coughing on camera. I've sped up some of the laughing to make it slightly less unbearable.
I actually think that's kind of funny.
Then after this train wreck of a video, he thought it was such a good idea that he decided to make it a regular series.
I feel like this is going to be a recurring series, so if you guys have any words that you want to hear me pronounced in any fucking language that isn't English, by all means, let me know.
Yeah, I've got one for you, Justin. Try aburrido. Eres aburrido. Suffice it to say that these videos didn't take off. Nothing seemed to be working on Justin's channel, so what do you do when you're not fun?
Okay, well, one thing I've learned is people who, like, I don't know, when somebody's like critique of their main critique of somebody is that they're boring, I'm starting to think like maybe the content just isn't for you, you know? Like if you don't like it, that's okay, you know? I don't know. I feel like I get that critique a lot. Oh, Stardust is boring. Well, you know what? I screamed and cried on stream for an hour while in a banana suit earlier today. Okay? So I don't think I'm that boring, all right?
Funny, not interesting, and not original enough for people to care about who you are, you talk about someone who is. So Justin jumped on the drama bandwagon. From Pro Jared to James Charles to Adam Saleh to H3H3 and PewDiePie, there isn't a bandwagon too big or too small for Justin to jump on. He even made a video series where he went after content creators and comedians for allegedly stealing jokes and memes, like he was some sort of content cop. If that sounds familiar, that's because there's already a popular web series by iDubbbz called Content Cop, which is a more nuanced, clever, and tongue-in-cheek series than Justin's shitty imitation. But that's not where the similarities end, because Justin even shamelessly called his video Meme Police. Ah, yes.
Well, okay. So, what do I want to say about this? I think he's right that iDubbbz's Content Cop was really well done and very hard to match that. But I don't think Whang calling this meme police is plagiarism, you know? Okay, so the one I went to design school, okay? One of the first things we learned in design school is that all ideas are an abstraction of something else, right? If you make art, all art is an abstraction of something else you've seen in your life, right? Everything is inspired by everything. So yes, there are like blatant things that you can call plagiarism, but you know, there's a lot of things also that are just inspired, you know? Everybody is inspired by everybody. Like half of like commentary people, if not more, are inspired by like Leafy or by Keemstar, you know? You know, Debate Bros are all inspired by like you know, Destiny or Vosh or Hackman or, you know, or maybe like Hitchens. I don't know. I don't know if anybody watches the old school Debate Bros, but Stardust stole Maddox's banana bit. Bro, I sat here in a banana costume and screamed for an hour. Okay? You do not get to say that I stole somebody's banana bit. But maybe I did. I don't know. Maddox maybe should come after me for stealing his banana bit. I don't know. Anyways.
Let's look up a synonym for the word cop, and nobody will notice. Good.
Okay, well, no, look, I don't think meme police is a straight rip, you know? Stardust, this is about a much bigger picture. I think we know where this is headed. I don't know where this is headed, Andy. I have no fucking idea. I don't think meme police is a rip off of Content Cop. Content Cop has alliteration in it. Meme police does not, you know? If I were going to if I were like saying, okay, let me think. I would try to do alliteration, you know?
Good job, Justin. I think it worked. Except even this seems lifted straight from iDubbbz's video because he literally has a content police sketch. Oops. This is some high school level plagiarism.
Wait, really? Wait, where?
Good job, Justin. I think it worked. Except even this seems lifted straight from iDubbbz's video because he literally has a content police sketch. Oops. This is some high school level plagiarism where you just change a few words. One of his first meme police videos was about comedian Rob Schneider and how he allegedly stole a joke from a meme.
If it does sound kind of familiar.
I don't know. I feel like, okay. iDubbbz's focus in his content cops were other content creators on YouTube. Does Justin Whang go after other content creators on YouTube? It seems like he's going after, like, comedians, right?
It's because he stole that fucking joke from a meme that was being shared around at least 3 days before he tweeted that.
Justin doesn't provide any evidence that he stole the joke. His only argument is that he saw a similar meme posted earlier. So he concluded that Rob Schneider must have seen the same meme that Justin saw, and therefore stole the joke.
Actually, I think this is a decent point. I think this is a decent point that, like, there's no... I think you can... Okay, how about this? I will find middle ground here, okay? Maddox has a point in that the content is lazy. But do I think it's plagiarism? Not really, right? If it's just, like, criticizing people, like, oh, you didn't make that joke, that was on a meme first. Well, that's, like, half of all if not more. That's like all content creators, like, you know. So you can say you can be like, oh, that's lazy, you know, like, oh, that, you know, this is really lazy. You didn't really do any research. You're just claiming that, you know. I don't even know where I'm going with this because there's so many things here. Oh fuck! I don't know where I'm going. I'm so confused. Okay. Justin Whang accuses somebody else of stealing jokes because they saw a meme. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that person stole a joke. And that also is not really a huge deal. If somebody stole a meme, whatever. I don't fucking care. So that's a decent point, right? But I don't think Justin Whang is plagiarizing off of Content Cop. I just don't.
How likely is it to have happened? Well, it's hard to tell because the original tweet was deleted. But since the possibility exists, that was apparently good enough for Justin to accuse Schneider of joke theft.
People have
Hi, BK.
this idea that just because they saw a joke inside of a picture as a caption, that it's suddenly free reign for them to steal it and passes it off as their own. For him to do this hack bullshit, he needs to be called the fuck out.
Justin doesn't give Schneider the benefit of doubt or consider the possibility that two people could have come up with the exact same joke independently. In fact, he feels so strongly about content theft that he's harped on about it in several videos.
Content theft is fucking horseshit. There's just something about, you know, actual content theft that just triggers the fuck out of me. The point is, I fucking can't stand content theft.
So it came as a surprise when I saw this tweet of Justin's not too long ago. It had over 6,000 retweets and 42,000 likes. That's a legitimately viral tweet. Good job, Justin. Except Justin didn't come up with that joke. And the reason I know is because it's actually funny.
Okay, keep in mind, again, I'm trying to be fair here to all parties involved. All right? Once again, I do not think Whang is plagiarizing. I do not think Whang is plagiarizing Content Cop in any way whatsoever. But, like Testy Johnson says in the chat, meme jacking is not content theft. Meme jacking is fucking based. Okay? Yeah, I don't think Whang is plagiarizing. You can be like, yeah, what this video could have been, and it would have been fine, I think, is he could have said, oh, Justin Whang's videos are okay. Maddox could have made this video and had the title be Justin Whang makes lazy content, or Justin Whang's meme police is bad. Like something. You know? I don't know about the plagiarism claim.
This joke was written in 2014 by a guy named Jay Branscombe, and it was very popular with over 43,000 shares and 17,000 likes on Facebook alone. So if the pre-existence of a much less popular meme was enough for Justin to conclude that Rob Schneider was a joke thief, then judging by his own criteria, we have to conclude that Justin must have stolen this joke. But still, you might be thinking, well, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe we should give him the benefit of doubt, even though he didn't extend that same courtesy to Rob Schneider. So how likely was it that Justin saw this joke somewhere else before he posted it? Well, it's hard to say, but there was this article about it in the Huffington Post. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nobody reads the Huffington Post, especially not a hard rock and nu metal boy like Justin. But then there was also this article about it in USA Today. Well, sure, maybe Justin didn't see that article either. But then there was this one from Business Insider, and this one from Hollywood Reporter, and this one from The Guardian, and the LA Times, and the New York Daily News, and Fox 8, and AV Club, and E, and National Post, and WGN, and Daily Mail, and Fox 6, and BuzzFeed, and Express.co.uk, and the Hindu Times, Thought Catalog, ABC 10, The Independent, CTV News, Psychology Today. There have been over 50 articles written about this one joke alone. In fact, it was so popular that it
I will give him props in that he's pretty good at pulling up and doing research, I guess. But yeah, I just don't agree with the plagiarism thing.
was even covered on a number of news programs.
Steven Spielberg is at the center of a viral photo controversy after an internet humorist posted this photo of the director to Facebook.
So it's just surprising that someone like Justin, in all his years on the internet as an internet historian, somehow missed all these people sharing this original meme and this news program, or any of the more than 50 articles. But what makes it especially difficult to give someone like Justin the benefit of doubt is that he's positioned himself as some kind of meme smith.
Who I consider myself a bit of a meme smith.
In fact, he was
It sounds like a joke, my dude.
interviewed about the history of memes on one of the most authoritative websites when it comes to memes, and even KnowYourMeme.com literally has an archive of this exact meme. Oops! When it comes to accusing others of stealing jokes, he has an encyclopedic memory of memes. But when it comes to his own joke theft, his memory gets a little foggy.
It's always the
Meme smithing is very serious. Oh.
most sanctimonious people who are the ones who are guilty of the thing that they claim to be so against.
And what's especially egregious about Justin's hypocrisy is that he has the audacity to complain about how unfair it is when a bigger person steals a smaller person's work.
The idea that, especially like when you're not that big and you're trying to grow, that someone who is much larger than you can take your fucking work
Get the popcorn ready in a few minutes. The drama gods will be blessing us. Uh-oh.
and really, without fucking consequence, you'll be forgotten about.
This is Justin's Twitter following, and this is Jay Branscombe's. In another Meme Police video, a video series that's totally original and not a ripoff, Justin harps on a guy named Liam Deneen for posting memes to promote himself, and he complains because he doesn't know who he is. Justin also criticized this guy for allegedly stealing content, posting granny memes, and using these memes on his Instagram page to grow his fan base.
So first I go to this Instagram page, and the
Okay, I'm so sorry, but I have to rewind a little bit here. I am not quite understanding this.
And what's a little of this exact meme. Oops! When it comes to accusing others of stealing jokes, he has an encyclopedic memory of memes. But when it comes to his own joke theft, his memory gets a little foggy.
It's always the most sanctimonious people who are the ones who are guilty of the thing that they claim to be so against.
And what's especially egregious about Justin's hypocrisy is that he has the audacity to complain about how unfair it is when a bigger person steals a smaller person's work.
The idea that, especially like when you're not that big and you're trying to grow, that someone who is much larger than you can take your fucking work and really, without fucking consequence, you'll be forgotten about.
This is Justin's Twitter following, and this is Jay Branscome's. In another Meme Police video, a video series that's totally original and not a ripoff, Justin harps on a guy named Liam Deneen for posting memes to promote himself.
Yeah, I just don't see the similarity between Meme Police and Content Cop. I just don't see it. End Times Meme says, jokes are rarely original. Everything is at least derivative. That's the name of the YouTube game anyways. People constantly use what works. Yes, that's true across all forms of media and art and anything, really. That is just true across the board. Most stuff is derivative or an abstraction of something else. The irony of this video is Stardust making React content. Fuck you. All right. I just don't see it. Meme Police, there are several differences between all of human thought is derivative. Well, look, there are ways you can be like, okay, this is straight up plagiarism. Like we saw it with Illuminati, right? Illuminati was somebody that I believe, who was it? H-Bomber? H-Bomber called out Illuminati for like straight up plagiarizing another documentary for a video that she made. And I thought that was a really, really decent call out because it was like word for word ripped, right? I don't see it. I just don't see it here, man. I just don't see it because Meme Police is so different from Content Cop. I don't know. Meme Police seems to just like, it's just different criticisms altogether. Zach says, how would you feel about people making higher levels of popularity with father's cock jokes rather than your dad's dick jokes? That's like my life, Zach. So, Star, do you know why Maddox is infamous online? I don't, Andy Conda. I don't know any of the back history behind any of this. All I know is that I used to read Maddox's website when I was 10. When I was 10 years old, I would read his blog, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And also recently, I discovered that both of us use the banana filter in our streams occasionally when we're like memeing around or whatever. But that's about as much as I know.
And he complains because he doesn't know who he is. Justin also criticized this guy for allegedly stealing content, posting granny memes, and using these memes on his Instagram page.
Just Ryan here, sorry.
In another Meme Police video, a video series that's totally original and not a ripoff, Justin harps on a guy named Liam Deneen for posting memes to promote himself, and he complains because he doesn't know who he is.
I'll say, like, you can call that criticism that Whang is making stupid without saying that he's plagiarizing, right?
Justin also criticized this guy for allegedly stealing content, posting granny memes, and using these memes on his Instagram page to grow his fan base.
So first I go to this Instagram page, and the Instagram page is just the same fucking memes that are on his Facebook page. He's just some dude that's become wildly popular for posting really bad fucking memes.
So it came as a surprise when I looked at Justin's Instagram page and saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of memes that Justin has posted without credit or attribution. Now, I get it, it's sometimes very difficult, if not impossible, to track down the source of every meme you see, let alone share on the internet. I try my best, but I'm sure there's stuff I've missed. Justin, however, is the self-appointed meme police, and he keeps harping on and on about how much he hates content theft. So it comes as a surprise that he calls out so many other people while seemingly doing the exact same thing. Even Liam Deneen posts sources and credits on some of his memes, but not Justin. He rarely credits any of his memes on his Instagram account. Among the thousands he's posted, he doesn't even credit ones that are easy to find. Then he has the audacity to criticize people for posting granny memes while posting memes like this, and this, and this, which is literally a granny meme. But Justin's hypocrisy doesn't end there, because he also criticizes people for posting jokes that are too similar to ones they already posted.
You ever have that corny friend that like they'll try to make jokes all the fucking time and nobody laughs except for maybe one time a fucking year they say something actually funny, everyone laughs, and then they try to capitalize on it. They can't like let it.
No, this is painful. That's me. Why does he have to call me out?
Die. They gotta make another version of the same fucking joke.
But there are dozens of examples of him posting the same joke repeatedly on his Instagram account.
It's definitely not as trendy as jumping on the anti-Illuminati bandwagon. Look, I'm not on the anti-Illuminati bandwagon. What I'm saying is that, I'm pretty sure H-Bomber called out Illuminati for ripping, like, word for word off of another documentary. And I think that that was a decent call out, but I don't see him comparing Meme Police to Content Cop as anything remotely similar. And we can make fun of both people in this, right? Like we can, I don't know, like, I think he had a better video if he just made this video and made fun of Wang for, like, criticizing people for stealing memes, rather than, like, trying to accuse him of plagiarism and accuse him of a bunch of other things, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? He could have just been like, I don't like Justin Whang's content. I don't like his content. I think it's lazy. Or he could be like, I think Justin Whang is being a little bitch baby about people stealing memes. Who cares? Right? But I don't understand calling him a plagiarist, because Meme Police and Content Cop don't really sound similar to me whatsoever. Content Cop was like a very thorough dissection of certain things that certain content creators did.
Sometimes he posts the exact same one with slight variations over and over.
In my opinion, if a joke doesn't work, you repeat it until it works. I actually agree with that, Sandals, because I have many times repeated a joke over and over and over again until people laughed at it. And then everybody would laugh at it and think it's the funniest thing in the world. And then I would keep repeating it and it would get unfunny. And then I would repeat it again. I would keep repeating it. It would go through cycles. People would think it's funny and then not funny and then funny and then not funny. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe they were just doing it to make me feel better. I don't know. H-Bomber was an idiot and reading a news article isn't plagiarism. I also think you're going after Legal Evil was dumb, but she admitted to that. No, Infallible, I thought it was specifically he cited, like, a video. There was a actual documentary that had word for word the same stuff in hers. No? Am I wrong about that? It can, but the joke isn't the funny part. It's the absurdity of repeating it. She directly repeated many lines from her documentary. Yeah, that's what I remember. Not your average PRN director. Like, reading an article, fine, whatever, you know? I've read articles, so.
Over and over again. In fact, sometimes he even posts the exact same meme twice, just a few months apart. Of course, both times without credit.
Well, I consider myself a bit of a meme smith.
Look, I get it. Memes are ubiquitous, and almost everyone posts them from time to time, myself included. It's hard to track down every single meme, and I'm sure I've posted a few without proper attribution, but I do my best, and I post credits whenever I can. But it's a different story when you harangue other people for doing it when you're doing the exact same thing. In recent years, some big Instagram accounts have been accused of plagiarism for using
Bro, even calling him a hypocrite would have been better than calling him a plagiarist, you know?
memes to grow their audiences without giving credit to the creators. Justin's done the same thing. He's not just some kid sharing memes on the internet. He's amassed over 75,000 followers on Instagram alone without giving many of these creators proper credit. Now you might be thinking, but Maddox, they're just memes, so what? And you're right, it wouldn't matter so much, except he's promoting his brand and merchandise alongside these memes, so he's making money using other people's content. You would think that someone who deputized himself as the meme police.
Okay, I have a question. Did Justin Whang steal an original meme of Maddox's? I wonder.
and is doing interviews on meme websites would hold himself to a higher standard. I wonder if he's ever said anything about people who grandstand and act morally superior while doing the exact same thing.
You don't get to grandstand, act like you're morally superior to someone, meanwhile you're basically doing the same fucking thing that they did.
On September 10th, 2017, Justin finally made his first relatively successful video, and it was successful because it had nothing to do with him. It was about some supposed drama between H3 and...
It's time to talk about ethics and memes journalism. True, Jenny. I have a question. Is Wang his real name? I have no fucking idea, SGN Mark. Dax Herrera says Justin Whang made a video about why Maddox sued me. That's why he's pissed. Oh, is that for real? Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, no, I thought Maddox was mad at Justin Whang for, like, stealing one of his memes or something. I didn't know. I mean, look, you could have just, like, man, you could have just called it, like, hypocritical, or, you know, or, I don't know. I feel like Maddox could have just called it, been like, you know what? I think what Justin Whang is doing with this whole meme police thing is stupid as fuck. Okay, well, anyways, let's resume.
H3 and Sam Hyde. It was, in his own words,
I don't think that, just like I don't think that Justin Whang is plagiarizing off of Content Cop, I don't think that Ethan Klein is copying Sam Hyde when he does an ugly face in the camera.
the most growth he'd seen on his own channel in a single month.
That shit was amazing for my channel. This is probably the most growth I've ever had in a single fucking month.
But the problem with drama is that once you get a taste of that sweet drama juice, it becomes addictive. You either have to keep finding drama or making it to feed the content beast. As soon as someone draws a little blood, all the rats come out, and it's fucking disgusting because all these fucking people are grasping at straws. But don't take my word for it. Those are literally Justin's words.
As soon as someone draws a little bit of blood, all the rats come out. We all need that sweet drama juice to drive our channels. I could see why the drama juice is so fucking addictive, but it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting because all these fucking people now, they're grasping at straws.
You're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself, you astounding hypocrite. He even said it again in another video in a moment of mind-numbing lack of self-awareness.
Now you're starved for content. You got a big growing fan base and you're chasing those fucking likes. You need to feed the content beast. That's fucking sick.
Now remember that clip because I'll be referencing it later. Once he exploited the drama for all it was worth, he turned his attention to Tales from the Internet, a series where he delves into popular events and people online. So another series where it's popular not because of him, but in spite of him. One of his most popular videos is about the Max Headroom incident from the 80s, where someone jammed a signal of a TV broadcast in Chicago. That much is fairly common knowledge. But what isn't common knowledge is all the detail Justin goes into. He cites specific names,
Chuck Swirsky, John McDougal, Captain Midnight,
dates,
October of 2015, 2010,
call letters,
WGN TV, WTTW TV,
an ad campaign,
the new Coke.
Catch the wave. Coke.
and even seemed to recognize the theme song to an old cartoon from the late 1950s.
Note that the song he's singing here is the theme song from an old cartoon called Clutch Cargo.
Zenom says, please Stardust, no more. This is my childhood hero. Can't see Maddox like this. Sorry, dude.
The only thing Justin doesn't cite are sources, at least for the first 4 minutes and 10 seconds of the video. While Justin does use news clips at the start of his video, those clips are over 30 years old. So the only way he could have known that those clips existed was if he read someone else's research. Well, you might be thinking that maybe Justin might have just known this information from memory. Except this incident occurred in 1987, and according to this website, Justin was born in 1984, which means that he was just 3 years old when it happened. So that means either Justin was able to remember all those names, dates, and times 30 years later to make a video about it, or that he's a plagiarist. Plagiarism is when you present someone else's work, ideas, or research as your own. According to Evidence Explained, this includes changing a few words, changing the sentence structure, or using synonyms, like he did with meme police. Most of Justin's video is full of research that he didn't come up with. Now you might be thinking that some of these are basic facts, and they are. For instance, we know that an incident occurred, but most people wouldn't be able to recognize specific details like the theme song that was hummed from an obscure cartoon from the 19...
I do always feel weird about that. I wanted to make videos, but literally everything has been made. It's hard to not be a copy of a copy of a copy. Infallible Foul, everything is inspired by everything else. You know, there like I don't know. Everything is inspired by everything else, and I just don't. see the significance here, you know?
50s. Someone else did that research and put all those pieces together, and it sure as shit wasn't Justin. For most of the video, Justin rattles off details about the event, giving the impression that his video is very well researched, and it is, just not by him. Since there have been dozens of articles and videos made about this over the years, it's hard to tell exactly which he used since he doesn't credit most of his
All crime channels are plagiarism? Yeah, apparently, Dimer Boy.
sources. For example, there are sections in Justin's video that seem to lift exact quotes and in the exact same sequence as a WFLD broadcast by Jack Conity.
And this time there was audio.
By this time, the pirate had managed to insert audio.
Now you might be wondering, aren't these just basic facts? Wouldn't everyone report them the exact same way? No. In fact, here are 4 different broadcasts covering the same event, focusing on different observations, details, and phrasing, because none of them were plagiarized, unlike Justin's. Other than this newscast, most of Justin's video seems cobbled together using bits and pieces of different articles written by other people that he only credits one time, despite the fact that he uses huge chunks of it for his video. For example, this article by Chris Nittell seems to be his primary source.
It's a theme song from an old cartoon called Clutch Cargo.
Clutch Cargo!
And at one point he even used the exact same footage from a commercial that was referenced in the article.
At the time of this hack, the real Max Headroom was the spokesperson for the new Coke.
Catch the wave. Coke!
I found 4 different Coke commercials that Justin could have used to make his point, but he lazily didn't do his research and just used Chris's work without giving him credit. Finally, after 4 minutes and 10 seconds of Justin pilfering research from this article, he finally cites his source, but that doesn't happen until after he's already used much of it earlier in the video without credit, and even then, he only cites it for a small portion, giving the impression that everything that came before it was his original research when it wasn't.
According to Vice Motherboard, the Eric Fournier theory is as follows.
So you might be wondering, why does any of this matter? Well, it's because plagiarism is theft, and for a guy who supposedly hates content theft so much, he sure does seem to do a lot of it. But maybe the reason Justin doesn't cite his source is because if he did, his video would sound like this.
According to Vice Motherboard, the anchor, Dan Roan, had this to say. According to Vice Motherboard, the real Max Headroom was the spokesperson. According to Vice Motherboard, the song he's singing here is the theme song.
The guy who wrote this article did all the hard work of tracking down interviews, trawling through archive footage.
Bro, but he's at least citing Vice Motherboard, right? That's more than a lot of content creators do, isn't it? I don't know. I feel like he is, you know, there's an argument to be made, here, right? There's an argument to be made that, you know, a lot of YouTubers recently have come after Twitch streamers for, like, the way that they react to things, like, especially XQC not being a great reactor. You know, I'm guilty. I have done some terrible reacts in the past, right? There's an argument to be made here, probably, that all these YouTube content creators are really mad about these big Twitch streamers reacting to their content and not crediting them, right? Which is fair, right? But I do think that there might be an argument here where it's like, okay, well, if you're mad about Twitch streamers reacting to your content and not crediting you, I'm sure that there are people who write articles, mainstream media, or, you know, whatever websites, who are mad that you don't credit them in the videos that you make, which is kind of interesting, you know. There's an argument there, probably, but yeah, I don't know what to say. This is not what Maddox is talking about here. Is not really something that is uncommon whatsoever.
Maybe the reason
follows.
So you might be wondering, why does any of this matter? Well, it's because plagiarism is theft, and for a guy who supposedly hates content theft so much, he sure does seem to do a lot of it. But maybe the reason Justin doesn't cite his source is because if he did, his video would sound like this.
According to Vice Motherboard, the anchor, Dan Roan, had this to say. According to Vice Motherboard, the real Max Headroom was the spokesperson. According to Vice Motherboard, the song he's singing here is the theme song.
The guy who wrote
He's still crediting Vice Motherboard, so I don't really see.
This article did all the hard work of tracking down interviews, trawling through archive footage, and he even filed a Freedom of Information request through the FBI. Justin then came along and skimmed off the top of his work for a shitty YouTube video where he even got some major facts wrong. At one point in his video, Justin flat out lies.
30 plus years later, he still hasn't been caught. But there are a few suspects.
No, there are not.
The real smoking gun in this case.
There is no smoking gun in this case because there is no case. There are no leads, there are no suspects, none, period. The person who did this is still at large, end of story. For over 10 minutes in his video, Justin casually implicates innocent people of crimes with penalties of up to $100,000 and a year in prison. This includes one guy who not only had the inability to pull this off, but he wasn't even able to defend himself because he's dead.
Okay, so while I can agree that that kind of fucking sucks, again, something that is not super uncommon with content creation, right? That's like basically every crime channel, any channel really. Like there are tons of channels that have like said slanderous things about other people, other content creators, whatever, you know?
Eric himself isn't able to deny this theory as he...
Now, your average PR director says taking an article or whatever and transforming it into a video is quite a bit different from React content, e.g. every iceberg video. Okay, possibly, for sure. But I do think that there's like a decent argument there, like especially if what he's saying is true, that one reporter filed a Freedom of Information Act, went and, you know, because reporters will often like actually go places to like get information and stuff. So, I mean, I think there might be an argument there, you know, but it's not mine to have, so, you know.
He passed away in 2010. According to Vice Motherboard.
For the last 7 minutes of the video, Justin reads a Reddit article where someone mistakenly thought the culprit was someone he met at a party, but it turns out he was wrong. Justin inexplicably decided to include this in his video anyway, despite the fact that the very Reddit post he's reading from has an update stating very clearly that these people are officially eliminated as suspects. But instead of omitting this bogus lead, Justin decided to keep it in and incredulously glossed over the fact that they've been cleared, almost like it's an afterthought at the end of his video.
If the information they gained is true and J and K can't possibly be the suspects...
Of course, saying that there are suspects makes the video sound more exciting, like there's an active case with leads, clues, and evidence, and that the culprit could be caught any day.
No, he's stealing my Reddit post. I demand compensation. Yeah, stealing a Reddit post really is not a big deal to me.
Now. But unfortunately, none of that is true. This video is misleading and irresponsible. This entire 10-minute section of Justin's video could have been boiled down to this. So, turned out they weren't the guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe for new videos every... Since Justin didn't credit most of his sources, I tracked down as many as I could and listed them here. As for the news footage used in Justin's video, he doesn't explicitly credit the website. The watermark was added by the Museum of Classic Chicago Television, and it's the source for most of his news footage, but Justin doesn't even link to them from the video description. Fuzzy Memories is run by volunteers who tirelessly archive lost footage from old VHS tapes, and they deserve some credit for their hard work, including the footage I used in this video. Since Justin didn't link to them, I will. You can support them here. Perhaps another reason Justin didn't credit all his sources is because if he did, we'd see that most of his video isn't his content. If you isolate just the parts where Justin talks without using other people's content, it's only 2 minutes and 53 seconds of his 13-minute video of his own original content. And that's being generous because I included the time he spent plugging his channel at the end. So nearly 11 minutes of his 13-minute video are other people's content. These truly are tales from the internet. Since most of Justin's video consists of other people's content, I've decided to make a template video that anyone can use to make your very own Tales from the Internet videos. And yes, this is real. Just replace the parts where Justin is talking, which isn't much, and you can use the rest of his video almost verbatim because it's not his content. If he's going to use other people's content, you can too. Except I've provided sources for you to use so it's not plagiarized. Link is in the description. Send me your videos and I'll shout out the best ones. And in case you're wondering, this wasn't just a shitty video I cherry-picked from his library. This kind of hacky bullshit is all over his channel. For example, in another Tales from the Internet, he tries to find out who made the Italian version of an anime theme song. And of course, it's chock full of more plagiarism. For example, watch Justin's eyeline carefully around the 7-minute and 54-second mark.
Raggi Fotonichi is an Italian band that specializes in covers of cartoon theme songs.
Did you catch it? Here it is again in case you missed it.
Cartoon theme songs. Cartoon theme songs.
guy said it. Hey, look.
I mean, look, that's something, I don't know, I feel like that's something so minor to nitpick about. Really. I don't know. I don't know, okay.
Let's play a quick game.
Imagine reading your script. Yeah, imagine reading a script. Uh-oh.
I want you to guess what Justin is looking down at this point in the video. Is it A, his own original script that he wrote after doing tireless research and becoming deeply familiar with the subject matter so that he was able to paraphrase and share his own original thoughts and findings with you? Or B, some shit he plagiarized from a post he found on Reddit? If you guessed A, you are absolutely incorrect, you fucking idiot. Of course it's B.
Dude, there are whole channels on YouTube dedicated to plagiarizing Reddit. Like, this is, I don't know, this is not really, this is, like, there are straight up, like, YouTube channels that are named after Reddits, named after subreddits, and all they do is just read those posts. That's all they do, you know? So, yeah.
You should have guessed that based on the content in the rest of this video. Justin plagiarized from this post on Reddit almost verbatim.
Raggi Fotonichi is an Italian band that specializes in covers of cartoon theme. In 2007, they released an album called Gente di Cartunia. The fourth track on this album was a cover of La Mou's theme song.
The account for the person in the original thread was...
I don't know, it seems like he's worded these things in his own way, so it's not like word for word like you could see with Illuminati.
Deleted. So I looked up an archive to find out it was written by a Reddit user named Risa Paisarum. This person did all the hard work of not just summarizing the information from a thread in a different forum, but then translating it from Italian, not Justin. It took me just a few minutes of research to find this, and I couldn't care less about this dorklord anime bullshit. I literally did more research on this part of the video than Justin. That's research he should have done, but didn't. Instead, he plagiarized this post almost beat for beat for this entire video.
Before him, Merkel had hoped that laying claim to the song would cause its...
This is not... Bro, I can't lie to you guys. This does not seem like straight up ripping word for word for me. This does not seem like it. It just isn't. I'm still listening and I'm still triggered. Yeah, it just doesn't seem word for word. Like, it says here, what Whang is saying here is like straight up, it's just directly, it's different. It's just different from what is being highlighted down here. It's phrased differently. It's not even in the same order. So even if he pulled from that source, he did the work of like rephrasing things.
True creator to come out of hiding. Constantino's lawyer got involved and said that the song was already a part of the show in Polonia 1 in Poland. This is a Polish TV station that was founded by Italians and often runs the Italian versions of anime. Furthermore, anime fans from Poland said that the show never aired over there.
And it's not just old videos either. Here's a relatively recent sponsored video he made where he seems to lift huge chunks of it from a Medium article. So he's making money off of other people's content. I've only included a few examples, but there is a lot.
In 2006, the Tobu Zoo completed their new penguin enclosure.
That's not... There's nothing that he said there that was like directly ripped from the article.
So he's making money on...
It was at the very least, it's been rephrased heavily.
Off of other people's content. I've only included a few examples, but there is a lot.
In 2006, the Tobu Zoo completed their new penguin enclosure, Grape-kun and Midori being among the penguins making the move. It's possible that this was because when he was taken away, they had believed he had died.
So by now you're probably wondering, why am I going after this guy so hard? After all, I don't normally go after other YouTubers.
Oh, okay, we're gonna get to it, aren't we? This is where the pedal meets the metal, right? Is this it?
YouTubers like this. My targets are usually children and animals. So why am I going after Justin? Well, it's because Justin went after me. Buckle up, because...
Uh-oh. He's like, why am I going after Justin? Because Justin went after me. All right.
This video for other YouTubers like this. My targets are usually children and animals. So why am I...
Wait, why are his targets usually children and animals? I'm confused. What's going on? Pretty brave trying to use another analogy after this. Shut up, dude. Wait, what analogy? Oh, the pedal to the metal? Did I say it right? Did I use the analogy right? Look. Why does he go after children and animals? I don't know anything about that, but okay.
Going after
you didn't? Really? What is the actual phrase? Pedal to the metal. What is that? What is the actual phrase? What did I fuck up? Tell me. Tell me what I fucked up. He used to make fun of children's drawings, I think. Oh, okay. Pedal to the metal implies insanity or intensity. Okay. So how is this not? We're saying this is where it gets intense, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, right? Pretty brave making brave comments about analogies when those sayings are called idioms. Oh, fuck. 9001 fucking wrecked, not your average PRN director. Fucking wrecked. Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road, or the pedal hits the metal, or this is where the things come together. We'll see, right? This is it. Rubber meets the road. Yes, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? Is that correct?
Justin, now you're probably wondering, why am I...
What? Worst streamer? Maybe you're the worst chatter. Do you think about that? Pedal to the metal because the gas pedal is mashed until it hits the metal floor of an old car. Yes, exactly. Whatever, guys, okay? I don't care for your idioms or analogies or whatever the fuck you call it, okay?
Why am I going after this guy so hard? After all, I don't normally go after other YouTubers like this. My targets are usually children and animals. So why am I going after Justin? Well, it's because Justin went after me.
It's because Justin went after me. Boom, 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 boom. Right? I like that part. Or, Justin went after me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, sorry.
After all, I don't normally go after other YouTubers like this. My targets are usually children and animals. So why am I going after Justin? Well, it's because Justin went after me. Buckle up, because this video is about to take a very strange turn. There is another side to Justin that most people don't know about. Not that most people even know about any side to Justin, but it's one where he tries to cancel and deplatform people he doesn't like. And he's even gone so far as to get them removed from speaking engagements. And I know this about him because he's done it to me.
Because he's done it to me. Is there another one? Boom, boom, boom. I will say if he did try to get Maddox deplatformed, that would fucking suck. But let's see.
Justin is part of an online group who harasses, stalks, and coordinates attacks against people using Facebook, Reddit, Discord, and IRC, and I'm one of their primary targets. This group is run by an obsessed stalker who's been waging a smear campaign against me and others for years. And since Justin can't resist jumping on every pissant drama bandwagon that comes along, he joined this mob like many others before it. Except this time, Justin didn't just stand by as an idle observer, which would be bad enough. He became an active participant in this harassment campaign and personally went after my livelihood. Here,
Whang would be one of the 20 people that still uses IRC. Damn, I'm trying to remember when the last time I used IRC was. I don't know, I feel like Discord just took the place of IRC, really, for me. I don't know. Yeah, I have no fucking idea.
here's one of the posts that Justin made in this group where he was actively looking for my sources of income, and then he found one of my speaking engagements, or in his words, one of the workshops that keep the lights on at Casa de Maddox. He then pointed the harassment mob to this panel, posted a link to it in their Facebook group, tweeted directly at them multiple times, and then as if that wasn't scummy enough, he even posted the names of the panelists and organizers of the event, making it easier for the group to harass them. And after he pointed this mob to this event, they of course spammed the organizers with threats, smears, and harassment, and I was removed from the panel. Good job, dipshit. Maybe if Justin put as much work into his videos as he did trying to cancel people, they wouldn't be so shitty. And if you're wondering what kind of smears this group has been spreading about me, here's a small sample of the slander. Someone from this group created a fake Twitter account with a fake rape allegation against me.
Bro.
They even used pictures of an innocent girl they found on Instagram who wasn't even aware her pictures were being used like this. Then they created a false rape allegation using this fake profile and even claimed this fictional person sent me pictures of her pregnancy test after her rape and that she had to get an abortion. Remember that clip I played earlier where Justin said it's always the most sanctimonious people who are guilty of the thing they claim to be so against? That clip was from a video where he talks about an activist group that outed people in the hardcore music scene. Justin criticized that group because at one point they went from just going after people who were abusive to actively seeking victims as a punitive measure against bands they didn't like by saying they needed more victims.
As much as people have called all the other Me Too stories witch hunts and shit like that, this is some next level shit when you put out a post saying need more victims.
Well, this mob did the exact same thing using this fake account. They even went a step further from just looking for victims that don't exist to creating one with a fake rape allegation, which is a crime, and then they even tweeted it to people I'm associated with using the MeToo hashtag. This is among the most repugnant shit I've ever seen on the internet. Besides the slang.
So I guess my question would be, how does he know that this group is behind that account? Like, does he know somebody that told him that that group was behind that account? Does he have evidence present that, you know, that will prove that that account has been made by somebody in that group? Oh, Not Your Average PRN Director says, was it an existing group Whang is part of that doesn't like Maddox? I think it's an existing group.
Slander itself, which is damaging in its own right, this kind of fake horseshit hurts actual rape victims, casting doubt into legitimate claims of rape and sexual assault. This is the kind.
Just so everyone knows, this man seething about meme theft is nearly 50 years old. Yeah, Jenny. Fair. Look, the account is called Heather and is following dickheads. Nobody even knew about it. Jenny, I will say, yeah, true, that he is seething about meme theft. But I will say also that Justin was also making videos about meme theft, which kind of is a little bit, you know, to me. But the Facebook group got suspended in like 2018. Okay. So it's a Facebook group that doesn't like Maddox, and apparently that Heather account was in that group, if I'm correct. Justin is a soy loser for sure, but this video is kind of pathetic. Yeah? Hate to see it. But, yeah.
Kind of shit I've been dealing with from this group for years now, and when it's called out.
The fake allegation stuff should have been the whole video, TVH. I feel like this should have been split into two different videos. The first video could have been like, I don't like Justin Whang's content, and here's why. And then the second video could be like, guys, I have this weird group that is, you know, fucking up my speaking engagements or something. I don't know. I hope he presents evidence for the Heather account.
They always lie, shift blame, and deny it was their group. But it's always the same group of people. How do I know? Because I've blocked most of them on Twitter, including Justin. And since most of them follow each other, and they're the only group of people I consistently block, I can tell at a glance when it's their group because all I have to do is look at who they're following, and it's the same people from the group that Justin's a part of, taking part in the same smear campaign like always. This is the story of how gullible dipshits like Justin can get caught up in online mobs fueled by hatred, lies, and gossip. Except this time, Justin got way too involved and crossed a line that he shouldn't have. So how did Justin get involved in all of this? Well, unfortunately, Justin has a rare medical condition called ITM-HOFB, or inability to mind his own fucking business.
Damn. The account was probably a guy from that community, but nobody knew about it besides Maddox. Nobody was following it. It was following other people, and he uses that as proof. So I'm a little bit confused. Maddox says earlier that, like, they got him kicked from, like, a speaking engagement. Let me see.
Organizers with threats, smears, and harassment, and I was removed from the panel.
He doesn't say what the smears and harassment is. I guess he shows Justin.
Making it easier for the group to harass them. And after he pointed this mob to this event, they of course spammed the organizers with threats, smears, and harassment, and I was removed.
So what were the smears and harassment that they spammed the organization? That would be my question, right? Because I don't I don't see an answer here for that.
The panel. Good job, dipshit. Maybe if Justin put as much work into his videos as he did trying to cancel people, they wouldn't be so shitty. And if you're wondering what kind of smears this group has been spreading about me, here's a small sample.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Here's
the slander.
Okay, so here's a small sample of the slander, and then he only puts the Heather Smith allegation out there, right? So he does say, if you're wondering what these smears and allegations are, and then he puts the Heather Smith allegation. Okay. Oops. Oh no, what did I do? Did I mute it?
Group created a fake Twitter account with a fake rape allegation against me. They even used pictures of an innocent girl they found on Instagram who wasn't even aware her pictures were being used like this. Then they created a false rape allegation using this fake profile and even claimed this fictional person sent me pictures of her pregnancy test after her rape and that she had to get an abortion.
I'm not sure that I see much else. Like, he cites the one Heather account. The Heather account isn't followed by anybody, and the Heather account follows all these other people. I hope he presents evidence that shows people spreading Heather's allegations. Maybe that would make some sense to me, but I don't see it yet.
In the hardcore music scene. Justin criticized that group because at one point they went from just going after people who were abusive to actively seeking victims as a punitive measure against bands they didn't like by saying they needed more victims.
As much as people have called all the other Me Too stories witch hunts and shit like that, this is some next level shit when you put out a post saying need more victims.
Well, this mob did the exact same thing using this fake account. They even went a step further from just looking for victims that don't exist to creating one with a fake rape allegation, which is a crime, and then they even tweeted it to people I'm associated with using.
Wait, I'm so confused here. So he's saying there were no existing allegations and this mob made Heather Smith to make an allegation. Is that what he's saying?
They're from just looking for
some next level shit when you put out a post saying need more victims.
Well, this mob did the exact same thing using this fake account. They even went a step further from just looking for victims that don't exist to creating one with a fake rape allegation, which is a crime.
All right, let's fast forward to about here.
Seeking victims as a punitive measure against bands they didn't like by saying they needed more victims.
As much as people have called all the other Me Too stories witch hunts and shit like that, this is some next level shit when you put out a post saying need more victims.
Well, this mob did the exact same thing using this fake account. They even went a step further from just looking for victims that don't exist to creating one with a fake rape allegation, which is a crime. And then they even tweeted it to people I'm associated with using the Me.
I actually don't know that. Well, never mind. I don't know that, like, fake rape allegations are a crime necessarily unless you're able to prove that that person knows that they are lying and is saying that they're lying, which is really, really hard to prove. But yeah, okay. That's just a technicality.
Me Too hashtag. This is among the most repugnant shit I've ever seen on the internet. Besides the slander itself, which is damaging in its own right, this kind of fake horse shit hurts actual rape victims, casting doubt into legitimate claims of rape and sexual assault. This is the kind of shit I've been dealing with from this group for years now, and when it's called out, they always lie, shift blame, and deny it was their group. But it's always the same group of people. How do I know? Because I've blocked most of them on Twitter, including Justin. And since most of them follow each other, and they're the only group of people I consistently block, I can tell at a glance when it's their group because all I have to do is look at who they're following, and it's the same people from the group that Justin's a part of, taking part in the same smear campaign.
How does he know that these people are part of a group? How does he know who the members are of this IRC group or Facebook group? I know he's saying, like, oh, I see that they follow each other, but, like, I'm pretty sure that Maddox and I follow each other on Twitter, and I think, you know, and I definitely follow. Let me see, Maddox. Yeah, Maddox and I both follow each other on Twitter. Dick Masterson and I both follow each other. Justin Whang. Justin Whang and I both follow each other. So, I mean, You know, I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea about this group, but you know, by this reasoning, you know, he could put me into that category. So.
Like always. This is the story of how gullible dipshits like Justin can get caught up in online mobs fueled by hatred, lies, and gossip. Except this time, Justin got way too involved and crossed a line that he shouldn't have. So how did Justin get involved in all of this? Well, unfortunately, Justin has a rare medical condition called ITM-HOFB, or inability to mind his own fucking business. Since Justin has this disease and is apparently unable to mind his own fucking business, when he came across the smear campaign, he couldn't resist joining the mob and personally going after me, even though I hadn't done anything to him. He not only got involved in the smear campaign, but at one point he ingratiated himself with one of the two main ringleaders of this harassment campaign and former moderators of this group, a guy by the name of Asterios Kokonos. In fact, at one point, Justin even became—
Damn, what a name, Asterios Kokonos, okay.
friends with his former moderator, a person who I eventually ended up having to take to court. So by now you're probably wondering, why did I have to in the smear campaign? But at one point he ingratiated himself with one of the two main ringleaders of this harassment campaign and former moderators of this group, a guy by the name of Asterios Kokonos. In fact, at one point Justin even became friends with his former moderator, a person who I eventually ended up having to take to court. So by now you're probably wondering, why did I have to take this person to court? I took him to court for fraud. This is a screenshot of an advertisement.
Okay, damn. Fraud. You can't fight spite, George. Your creative has been approved. This email is to inform you that your creative Madcast fan statement has been approved under campaign Maddox fan statement. To monitor your campaign's traffic and metrics, navigate, make any edits to your campaign or creative, the creative or all creatives under the campaign will be paused until they can be reviewed. You can't fight spite, George. I don't understand this. Okay.
Advertisement he purchased claiming to represent me and my company. He fraudulently published these false and misleading claims and targeted them directly at me and my fans. He boasted about his harassment campaign on a website called Kiwi Farms, which is a forum dedicated to stalking, doxing, and harassment. Asterios, a guy who calls himself the good boy of comedy, regularly posted on the forums where they
okay, so let's see.
Claiming to represent me and my company. He fraudulently published these false and misleading claims and targeted them directly at me and my—
Want to know what Maddox really thinks of his fans? Take a look. Promoted by Asterios Kokonos. And he sued him for fraud. Okay.
This is a screenshot of an advertisement.
I'm sorry for reviewing the same bits over and over again, guys. I just, you know.
He purchased, claiming to represent
Trying to understand.
and my company. He fraudulently published these false and misleading claims and targeted them directly at me and my fans. He boasted about his harassment campaign on a website called Kiwi Farms, which is a forum dedicated to stalking, doxing, and harassment. Asterios—
Oh no, not Kiwi Farms.
A guy who—
Or any other celebrity website. I mean, okay, to be fair, certain websites do have more doxing and stalking and harassing than others. I'll say that much. But I don't know. I don't see Kiwi Farms as much different from other like celebrity tabloid websites, right? He won that lawsuit, right? I have no idea. Did he win that lawsuit? He sued this Asterios Kokonos guy. Did he win it or did he lose? I don't know.
calls himself the good boy of comedy, regularly posted on the forums where they doxed my home address and had some choice words to say about me. Why would the good boy of comedy be posting on a hate site like this? That's weird. He paid for this targeted harassment campaign after I blocked him on social media.
Maddox sued Dick Masterson, Asterios Company, Patreon, and Dick's Company for $380 million. And he lost. Okay, rough.
And he did it specifically to hurt my book sales. And if you have any doubt, he said it himself. What I'm about to tell you is the story of what should have been a private disagreement that spiraled way out of control and led to some random guy I met years ago in a comedy club in LA becoming obsessed with me, which resulted in a lawsuit where I sued him, his partners, and his company to get him to leave me the fuck alone. So you—
Some people can see them, but more importantly, it's made George scared, and uncomfortable that this could hurt his book release. And that's enough for me. I mean, it kind of sucks, but I don't know. I don't know that I guess I would have to ask what like the basis of fraud is here. Like I don't know. It does suck, but you know, if I were in his position, right?
And if you have any doubt, he said it himself. What I'm about to tell you is the story of what should have been a private disagreement that spiraled way out of control and led to some random guy.
You know what? I wonder now what happened that made this group that he's alleging that this group is, you know, like out to get him. I wonder what happened that made this like happen. I wonder what the interpersonal drama is that made this Asterios guy so interested in him.
I met years ago in a comedy club in LA becoming obsessed with me, which resulted in a lawsuit where I sued him, his partners, and his company to get him to leave me the fuck alone. So you might be wondering, who is this guy and how did we get involved? Well, he's a copywriter and an amateur comedian who considers himself a male feminist. He virtue signals about defending women's rights, working with female comedians, and how it's never okay to reduce people to their basest elements. Wow, what a hero. That is, of course, when he's not busy banning cunts on Facebook. And if the trend with outspoken male feminists is any indication, that should be a huge red flag. I wonder if Justin has ever said anything about male feminists. And of course he has, because Justin never misses an opportunity to be a hypocrite. He has a huge problem with male feminists, unless of course they're his friends. But back to Asterios for a minute. So you might be wondering, how did I cross paths with this guy? Well, the very short version is, I met him late one night after a comedy show in Los Angeles. He seemed like a friendly guy at first.
More guilt by association, Lamau. Yeah, I don't know. What is the IRC group is, you know, I would want to know, how does he know that Justin is like super involved with this one group of people? How does he know that this like group of people is like collaborating to like fuck with him? Is there like a group chat? Is there like he said that there's an IRC chat. Is that the main place where they organize? Or is it on Twitter? Or like where do they coordinate, right? Or is it just that one person had a falling out with him and then others kind of like jumped on the bandwagon to like fuck with him? Group of people just means Dick Masterson fans. Okay.
And wanted to promote some of his content.
Yeah, so like it could be that he had a falling out with one person, and then the fans of that person just, you know, decided to like fuck with him or something like that, right? To claim that there's like a coordinated group, I guess I would also have to see more evidence for that. So
I invited him on my podcast. But we had a falling out when I found out he talks behind people's backs. And that seems to be a pattern with him, because he's had a falling out with 3 different co-hosts on 3 different podcasts. And there's even a 4th one he got fired from that's not even public knowledge, but maybe I'm the problem. So I called him out for being two-faced when I caught him talking behind his friend's back. Here's a small sample of the things he'd say about one of his supposed close friends behind his back in private, but then he'd go off the next day and pretend like they were good friends in public.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just...
Here's a small sample of the 4th one he got fired from that's not even public knowledge, behind people's backs. And that seems to be a pattern with him, because he's had a falling out with 3 different co-hosts on 3 different podcasts. And there's even a 4th one he got fired from that's not even public knowledge, but maybe I'm the problem. So
Dick's girlfriend is Maddox's ex. Oh, bro, you can't be serious. Is that real? Is that real? Bro, you can't be serious. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry.
They're his friends. But back to Asterios.
No, it's real? Ooh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, man. That is painful. All right.
So you might be wondering, how did I cross paths with this guy? Well, the very short version is, I met him late one night after a comedy show in Los Angeles. He seemed like a friendly guy at first and wanted to promote some of his comedy, so I invited him on my podcast. But we had a falling out when I found out he talks behind people's backs. And that seems to be a pattern with him because he's had a falling out with 3 different co-hosts on 3 different podcasts. And there's even a 4th one he got fired from that's not even public knowledge, but maybe I'm the problem. So I called him out for being two-faced when I caught him talking behind his friend's back. Here's a small sample of the things he'd say about one of his supposed close friends.
Okay, so Asterios Kokkinos was calling Dick Masterson a sociopath then. Apparently, that's what it is.
Behind his back in private, but then he'd go off the next day and pretend like they were good friends in public. When I kept...
That guy sounds like a villain from Crash Bandicoot or something. Damn.
Catch someone being two-faced, I cut ties with them because they'll eventually do it to you. So I called him out on it, and that should have been the end of it. Except it wasn't. There's more to this conversation that I'll get to in a minute, but what happened next was insane. Asterios started harassing me, my friends, my sponsors, and even my...
They just agreed to do a podcast episode and Maddox decided against it.
There's more to this conversation that I'll get to in a minute, but what happened next was insane. Asterios started harassing me, my friends, my sponsors, and even my guests on my podcast, all while playing the victim. He's extremely good at making himself out to be a victim and accusing others of doing exactly what he's accusing them of. For example, here's a DM conversation he had with one of my sponsors after harassing them on Twitter and implying that they committed fraud even after I took him to court for this type of harassment.
Damn, bro. He didn't get him fired or anything. Maddox just found out the guy was talking about friends behind their back and decided against doing the podcast episode with him and cut ties. Okay.
He would obsessively write hundreds and hundreds of posts about me on Reddit and Twitter and Facebook and various other places online, and at one point even sent me spam from his mailing list. In short, he became obsessed with me, and at one point he even asked his girlfriend to watch my live streams to keep tabs on me.
A full? You don't want to listen? All right, I love you, honey.
Okay. People in the chat who know who Asterios Kokkinos is, can you tell me anything about him? Because I'm gonna be real with you all. Whether or not there's a group that's coordinating to fuck with Maddox or not. If there is not, whatever, you know. If it's true that Asterios Kokkinos is doing this to Maddox, I will say that Asterios Kokkinos might be a little bit weird, you know, to put it lightly. You know, might be a little bit fucked in the head if this is true. Just a little bit unhinged, you know. But again, I don't know, like, Asterios Kokkinos could be unhinged, could be, yes, a turbo schizo, and this whole allegation of a group coordinating to fucking harass him could still be false, right? So, Asterios is a comedian who would appear on Dick and Maddox's podcast.
Can you tell me what's happening with Maddox? Can you watch it and tell me?
I'm watching a little bit of it. I don't really want to watch the whole thing.
He even
And before, it's just him, but he has like 20 alt accounts that all talk to each other in Facebook groups and on Twitter. Fuck. Maddox pretended to be a real female journalist who existed and emailed Asterios' work to get him fired. Oh, okay. So me thinking that Maddox got Asterios fired by saying that he was talking trash about Dick Masterson was false. It was just Maddox not wanting to do a podcast with him. Something else happened in which Asterios got fired. Okay. All right.
Followed me around online and left comments on YouTube videos if I so much as had an appearance in one. And part of the reason he seemed to be doing this was for money, because just about everywhere he went, he'd spam links to his Patreon account, which is definitely against their terms of service, but Patreon doesn't enforce their rules consistently, and that's a whole other story. At one point, he started combing through my website to find something problematic I'd written 20 years ago, and even contacted a comedy theater I performed at to try to get me canceled there. Except he got the theater wrong and messaged someplace in Brooklyn I'd never been to or even heard of. Maybe that's why he's friends with Justin, because apparently they're both bad at research. And as if trying to cancel me wasn't bad enough, at one point after months of smearing me publicly, he even encouraged his followers to review my podcast and even shared instructions on how to create an iTunes account without using a credit card, which is a way for people to write fake and duplicate negative reviews. And it's worth noting that all of this happened long before any lawsuits were filed. So you might be thinking, gee, Maddox, what did you do to this guy? Did you go after him and encourage a mob to try to destroy his podcast and products with
I actually totally forgot this was a video about Justin Whang. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, damn. This is not a video about Justin Whang. Holy shit.
Negative reviews? No, actually, I haven't done anything like that to him. So you might be thinking, well, maybe this has been a back and forth feud. Surely, if he's been talking about me this much, I must have responded to at least some of his countless smears and comments about me, right? Nope. In fact, until this video, I haven't even mentioned this guy in public in over 5 years. And I mean that literally. While he ran his mouth constantly on Twitter, the number of tweets I made about him are 0. The number of Facebook posts I made about him, 0. The number of times I mention him on my podcast, 0. I haven't.
The timeline is very confusing if you weren't there. Ironically, Wang's videos are good. Okay, Lemon Trashy, can you confirm or deny for me whether Kokonos is like being a bit loony, or is that like a made up thing? He didn't go after Asterius, but he did go after Dick after getting cucked and caused problems for everyone. Okay.
Attacked him or even mentioned him in public anywhere on any platform, nor have I asked or encouraged any of my fans to attack him in public or private in any capacity, not once, ever, period. So if I wasn't doing anything to this guy, why was he on the attack? Well, you saw one possible explanation earlier: money. He not only spammed his Patreon link in conjunction with the smear campaign, his friends and followers even went to my personal website and spammed links to his Patreon constantly on his behalf. But there was only one problem. If I wasn't responding or doing anything to him, how could he justify his continued attacks? Well, he came up with the perfect explanation. He accused me of conducting a shadow war and engaging in a whisper campaign where I allegedly went around Los Angeles whispering things about him and his friends, which is bizarre because I promise you, there is nothing I could whisper about this guy that's worse than the things I've put in this video, which are just things he's actually done. Accusing someone of a shadow war is the perfect allegation to make when you don't have any evidence to back up your claims. If anyone asked for proof, he could simply say, oh, it was all part of the shadow war, so by definition, there was no proof. This is some of the most delusional, psychotic bullshit I've ever seen. He accused me of all sorts of things where I literally had no fucking idea what he was even talking about.
Whatever the fuck Maddox just pulled is exactly why I called off the Atlanta garage show. I'm not exposing Ryan, his girlfriend, or any of the fans' risks. This guy's nuts. The sooner doubters realize, like a shadow IRC group. That's a good question, Egg Council. What's so confusing about Maddox telling me that Larry told him that Dick threatened to punch Larry in the face if Larry went on Maddox's show? Okay, I don't know.
And of course, all without any evidence. He even accused me of creating alternate Twitter accounts and downvoting his YouTube videos like I don't have anything better to do than to downvote videos on some random guy's YouTube channel who I met in a comedy club over half a fucking decade ago.
He's a little bit... So, Kokonos is a little bit crazy, but there were justifications at the time. Maddox did shady shit behind the scenes to Dick and Asterios. Maddox's girlfriend got a restraining order for calling Dick's girlfriend's job, etc. Okay, is there evidence of, like, the shady shit that Maddox did behind the scenes, Lemon Trashy? I'm assuming there must be, because, like, it seems like the common... It seems like everybody, seems to... who knows about this seems to kind of, like, agree on these things, but...
Again, all of these allegations without a single shred of evidence. But unfortunately...
Bro, all of these allegations without a single shred of evidence. Okay, but I needed to see the evidence of this this IRC group, bro. Not Your Average PRN Director says, I've come to the realization that I'm not capable of following this lore. I might be coming close to that point, Not Your Average PRN Director. I may need to, like, do some research on this stuff because I have no fucking idea what's going on. So,
if you repeat a false claim enough, no matter how ridiculous that claim is, eventually someone gullible enough will not only believe it, but they'll go so far as to attack the person on your behalf. And that's exactly what happened. So you might be wondering, what kind of gullible dipshit would not only believe a false claim about another person without evidence, but then make it their business and attack them for it? Enter Justin Whang. Justin typifies this idiotic mob mentality that...
Okay, I will say, look, I want to give everybody a fair chance here, okay? Because I don't know, I don't know the history behind this, okay? So, hopefully, Maddox will come out with some evidence here that shows that this group has been coordinating, for sure, against him. And hopefully other people have evidence of Maddox being shady behind the scenes, Because it could be, without that type of evidence, it could be that there's miscommunications on both sides, right? I don't know. That's like a year of content for you, Stardust? Oh, God, dude.
Has overtaken the entire internet because Justin Whang is a fucking idiot.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Really, he's stupid.
Like, really, I'm stupid.
Some of you may realize this already, but some of you may just be learning this fact.
I'm sure some of you guys realize this already, but I'm just fucking learning this fact.
As you saw earlier in this video, Justin Whang loves to go down rabbit holes of pissant drama he finds on the internet, except this time, he went way too far. I almost feel bad for Justin because he obviously got manipulated by bad actors with malicious and financial motives who took advantage of some very gullible people. But Justin wasn't the only person duped. At one point, Asterios asked one of his stalker buddies, a former fan of mine named Isaiah Lozano, to share my private conversations with him. Asterios then took these doctored up conversations and used them to buy those fraudulent ads he placed on Reddit. At one point, I had to look into getting a restraining order against this former fan of mine because even after I blocked him 6 times on various social media networks...
What are these fucking names? Drew. Isa House Lasagna? Like, bro, what are these names?
He kept contacting me, and of course, he's also a male feminist. And if his name sounds familiar, that's because you might have noticed it earlier because, surprise, surprise, it's one of the accounts followed by the fake rape allegation on Twitter. You may be noticing a pattern here. But before we go on, remember the text conversation I mentioned earlier? The one where he was talking behind the back of one of his business partners and supposed friends? During the course of that conversation, while we were having our falling out, he said something very strange to me. While we were having a disagreement, out of the blue, he said that he hoped that my new book would do very well when it came out. That's a very weird thing to say to somebody during an argument, so I ignored him. But then he said it a second time, saying, really, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, have a very successful book launch. I can't wait. It sounded like a threat. That's like saying, I hope your kids sleep well tonight during a heated argument. That's a threat. So I told him, don't go after me because I can go after your pocketbook too. Then he did something very strange. He said, go nuts. And then he gave me the contact information for a company I'd never heard of before, a company called Weber Shandwick. And in case you're wondering if that's just an off-the-cuff remark, it wasn't. He not only encouraged me to contact them, but he actually gave me their contact information. Yes, really. I was tempted to call, but I didn't. Even though this guy was threatening my livelihood, I still showed restraint and didn't bother contacting them. Why would I? What would I have to gain by calling this guy's work? It's not like he was doing this stuff on company time with the express knowledge of his supervisors. Was he? Well, it turns out he was. After Asterios' escalation of these attacks week after week, month after month, year after year, through a stroke of luck, I got an inside tip from someone who worked at his company with first-hand knowledge of their internal operations. I learned that their IT department keeps logs of all the websites visited on company time, which isn't unusual for a company of that size to do. Oops. This is one part of the video where I won't disclose my source to protect the parties involved, but if you have any doubt, there were multiple eyewitnesses who watched him do this from work, including his own followers, because the genius live streamed it from work. So when it became clear that he wasn't going to stop going after my livelihood and harassing me, my friends, my acquaintances, and doing it on company time no less, as a last resort, I decided to contact his work out of desperation to get him to stop.
This is on KF. Yeah, I figured. Okay, so so he says first, like, oh, I'm not gonna contact them, but then he does. Okay. See you later, long balls.
Keep in mind, this was after months of his attacks, so I showed a lot of restraint by not contacting them immediately. I sent an email and tried to remain anonymous to his company in an effort to avoid further retaliation, in part because the girl I was dating at the time was receiving countless rape and death threats from this mob.
Damn.
And I know he did this with the explicit knowledge that this group that he was part of makes these types.
So, okay, let me be real here. Okay, I don't know what kind of threats and hate Maddox was receiving, but I will say part of being on the internet and engaging with certain circles on the internet, certain circles, you have to expect that you will get a lot of bullshit, a lot of threats, and a lot of stuff, you know. It's unfortunate, but it is just kind of the way it is, you know. Certain groups on the internet have that, you know, certain spheres, maybe. Okay.
Types of threats. How do I know? Because they've even done it to him and his ex-wife. Wow, what a feminist. I thought a company like Weber Shandwick would step in and do the right thing because they like to stress how forward-thinking and progressive they are, releasing statement after statement about how they're leaders in diversity and inclusion. They even released an article proudly boasting about how many people of color they've...
True, but once people start going after other people around you, it changes things a bit. That is true, Roger Wilco. That is very true. And it can change people. It can change things for sure. It's why I always tell people to, like, you know, when I'm getting like harassed by people, to like not get involved and stuff. Yeah, I'm not trying to like downplay whatever harassment Maddox or his girlfriend got, because, you know, I don't know. I wasn't in their place. So I don't know what was happening. I don't know what was normal for the sphere that they were in either, right? So
promoted. Very progressive of them to tally up the colored people in their office for a bullet point and a marketing sheet for their company. So surely this progressive company would put a stop to this harassment, right? Nope. In fact, they told him about my email, allowed him to continue the harassment campaign, and things got worse. One of Weber Shandwick's clients...
Damn. Okay. Wait.
Harassment, right? Nope.
Nope. Wait, no, it's not that. It's more like, but it's like super loud, right?
In fact, people in their office for a bullet point and a marketing sheet for their company. So surely this progressive company would put a stop to this harassment, right? Nope.
Nope.
In fact, they told him about my email, allowed him to continue the harassment campaign, and things got worse. One of Weber Shandwick's clients was the UN Women's Group, and Asterios worked for their campaign. Nice of him to take time away from banning cunts, but don't worry, those cunts weren't even that hot. But at this point, I have to admit I made a mistake. Had I known then what I know now, would I have contacted his employer? Absolutely not. I would have contacted them much sooner, because I had no idea these maniacs would still be...
Ooh, that's a good point, Fail Snail. Fail Snail says, I mean, this guy gave Maddox the contact info. Wouldn't be surprised if he was a bigwig at the company in question. It sounds like a trap. Yeah, that is a good
going
point.
at it over half a decade later. That's how this ultimately became a lawsuit, because this random guy I met at a comedy scene in Los Angeles became obsessed, caused damages, and doesn't know how to fuck off. In my 23 years of doing this, I've never had a problem with anyone. I think lawsuits should only be used as a last resort. In fact, I told him as much. What's not publicly known is that at some point during the suit, I reached out to him directly for the first time in years and offered to unilaterally drop the lawsuit for the low cost of leave me the fuck alone. It was all I ever wanted, and I didn't even ask for legal fees or damages. Again, all he had to do was fuck off, and that would have been the end of it. I was polite and cordial in my communication. I said, take your life back, and ended the text by saying, let's end this tonight. With only 20 minutes before the midnight deadline, he finally replied and said, please communicate through your lawyer and mine. Since he left me less than 18 minutes to respond, I took the cordial tone as a sign.
I tend to agree with him, though. Like, the right thing to do probably would have been to communicate through the lawyers, because, well, I don't know. I just feel like that's the way to do it. You don't really, it's kind of like, I don't know. Once you're involved in a legal thing, you don't really, you know, you're not supposed to like contact somebody directly. You know, contact through the lawyers. If you could have communicated that through the lawyers. You could have been like, you could have just communicated that through the lawyer. I don't know why he didn't just do that, but
kind of reconciliation and goodwill. So I decided
like that just feels, yeah, you didn't need to message him. You should have talked to your lawyers, had your lawyers communicate with his lawyers, and work that out, you know? That's like a year into the lawsuit, judging from the date. Yeah, a year in, you definitely should not be privately messaging somebody. You should be going through lawyers. Lawyers should be talking to each other. If you really want to be left the fuck alone, like you're saying, all I've ever wanted is to be left alone. I'll drop everything tonight. Take your life back. Okay, if that's what he wants, he could have just said that to his lawyers. Right? Am I wrong on that?
Take your life back, and ended the text by saying, let's end this tonight. With only 20 minutes before the midnight deadline, he finally replied and said, please communicate through your lawyer and mine. Since he left me less than 18 minutes to respond, I took the cordial tone as a sign of reconciliation and goodwill, so I decided to end things and hoped that he would finally stop and leave me the fuck alone. So I responded and said that I would drop everything and hoped that cooler heads would prevail. But he didn't acknowledge it in public and carried on the next day pretending like this conversation didn't occur, milking it for all it was worth. Then he tried to file a counterclaim that got thrown out, and finally, that's where you think things would have ended. Except of course it didn't.
18 minutes, but that's only an hour after the first text.
He tried to file a counterclaim, but he didn't acknowledge it in
7:31. Please communicate through your lawyer and mine. Hope that doesn't sound rude. 8:42. That is an hour.
Finally stop and leave me the fuck alone. So I responded and said that I would drop everything and hoped that cooler heads would prevail. But he didn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying. 18. Okay, yeah, so maybe he had more time.
Acknowledge it in public and carried on the next day pretending like this conversation did.
Bro, you can't message something to somebody and just assume that they agree to it, right? He should have gone through his lawyers. That, like, yeah.
Didn't occur, milking it for all it was worth. Then he tried to file a counterclaim that got thrown out, and finally, that's where you think things would have ended. Except of course it didn't. Then Asterio started to carpet bomb the internet with his false victim narrative while gaslighting me and telling everyone that I sued him because he called me the word cuck. The word cuck is an insult used to emasculate men, similar to calling someone a beta, soy boy, or a f***it. Yes, even though he committed fraud, harassed my friends, sponsors, and spammed me relentlessly for years, somehow he was the victim because he got sued. Newsflash, 100% of people who get sued don't like it. I couldn't give less of a shit if he called me a cuck or a I've been called way worse in the comment section of my own videos daily. His narrative doesn't even make sense. People have been calling me names much worse for years and I haven't sued anyone. You can call me whatever names you want. That's protected speech. What's not protected is fraud, threats, stalking, and harassment. When Asterios bought those ads on Reddit, he did it using my name and my business, targeting my fans specifically to hurt my book sales with misleading statements. So no, I don't care about being called playground names. What I care about are damages. Don't like it? Don't stalk, harass, and commit fraud and you won't get sued. Despite these facts, Asterios continued to spread this bullshit narrative everywhere he could. He tried to get media attention on it, but since most people have never heard of this guy, the only people who would cover the story were his friends in the media. The first person was a guy named Brock Wilbur, an outspoken male feminist. And of course, like many other outspoken male feminists, he was Me Too'd. Here's an article about him titled, "I Was Played by a Male Feminist," where he allegedly dated someone without disclosing he had a live-in girlfriend while virtue signaling about Gamergate and women's rights. And he's also been accused of being a serial abuser. So this male feminist, Brock Wilbur, covered Asterios' story for a website called Paste Magazine, where he conveniently forgot to mention little details like the fact that he and Asterios are friends, and that Asterios is a contributor to the very magazine interviewing him. Oops! Just a slip of the mind, not to mention this major conflict of interest and not a deliberate attempt to whitewash his friend's narrative, right? Brock didn't bother reaching out to me for comment, and he sure as shit didn't disclose his relationship to Asterios. But that wasn't the end of Asterios' carpet bombing campaign, because he had another friend in the media, a writer from Vice named Mike Pearl. Mike is his longtime friend and former roommate. He's written such articles for Vice like this one about the legalities of pseudo-kitty porn. The only problem was, Mike wouldn't have been able to write about me because I've actually met Mike before, several times. In fact, we've all hung out together, so if he tried to write an article about me, I would have been suspicious. So instead, I got contacted by another writer from Vice, a guy by the name of Justin Whang, and surprise, surprise, he's another male feminist. He rails about toxic masculinity, but apparently he makes exceptions for his buddies in Facebook groups that stalk, dox, and harass people.
Maddox is kind of an OG internet shitter, so I wouldn't cross him. He is like one of the OG like internet troll people for sure, but I don't know. This whole drama seems very convoluted, and you know, I don't know.
When he contacted me, I was immediately suspicious, so I asked him if he was Asterios'
Totally a video about Justin Whang, by the way. Yeah, totally a video about Justin Whang.
Former roommate, because I couldn't remember Mike's name. Justin knew who I was talking about and immediately said that was Mike, and even admitted that he'd met Asterios before. But he didn't disclose how close they were. This made me even more suspicious. So I looked up Justin, and it turns out that he not only knows who Mike Pearl is, but they're longtime friends and even do a podcast together. Oops. When I pressed Whang about this, he downplayed his relationship to Asterios and said that they weren't friends. He even went a step further in public, saying that they'd only spoken once prior to this story. Well, that's funny, because I found this Twitter thread where they communicated as far back as 2015, and another one from 2014 where all three of them, Justin, Mike, and Asterios, were on the same thread together. That's weird, almost like all three of them were friends. Since he wasn't forthright, I decided to investigate a little bit further. Turns out that they're much closer than he let on. Whang has not only met Asterios, but he follows him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. At the time of this recording, Whang only followed about 6 public figures on Facebook, including Barack Obama and Steve Agee. So it's pretty telling that he made Asterios one of the few people he follows on every platform. I don't even follow some of my closest friends on all 3 platforms. And in case you think that he did it just for research, we can rule that out because he doesn't follow me anywhere. Then I dug a little bit deeper and surprise, surprise, guess who they invited as a guest on Justin and Mike's podcast? None other than Asterios Kokkinos. I'm sure it was a total benign lapse in memory and not a deliberate attempt to hide his relationship, because as a journalist advice, it might be looked down upon to publish puff pieces about your friends without disclosing your relationship. Although it's Vice, so I'm not sure if they have any journalistic standards to begin with. And if you have any doubt as to how close they were, they even promoted Asterios' narrative on the podcast, plugged his fundraiser for him to try to countersue me, and Asterios signed off the episode, and I can't make this up, by saying, "I'll talk to you guys later. I love you both," to which they responded, "Love you, bye."
Thank you. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I love you both.
Okay, well, I say I love you to people all the time that I don't really know, but sure, maybe, yeah, they had a closer relationship than he disclosed, for sure.
Totally normal way to end an interview with a journalist.
I don't understand, though. So this Justin guy was trying to make it I don't know, what is this? I guess there was a Vice person who was going to do an article on, or with Maddox or something. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
So contrary to Justin,
I've lost my place. I have lost my place. Isn't that all podcasts are, puff pieces for your friends? I'm not sure. I have no
claim
idea.
that's 4 instances that they've communicated before this article, and that's just what's been documented publicly. So if I did my math correctly, that makes Justin Whang a liar. So the guy wanting to write an article about me from Vice is friends with the guy he's writing about and his roommate.
I love you both.
You'd think that that would be an
For the reporter, it is really damaging if you conduct your job like that and claim to be independent. Maybe. I don't know.
important piece of information to disclose. I wonder why he didn't mention that. They also plugged Asterios' podcasts, except he forgot to mention his podcast on Cunt Media. Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, that's right. It was one of the accounts followed by the person who made the fake rape allegation. And we've come full circle. And in case you're wondering how deep this nepotistic rabbit hole goes, I checked the pages Justin was following on Facebook, and Paste Magazine was one of them. The very same website that Asterios is a contributor for, and the one where Brock Wilbur published his hit piece about me. So the jig was up. I asked Cafier if he'd disclose this conflict of interest in the article. He said he'd run it by his editors, but he didn't get back to me with their response. So, since Cafier didn't follow up with what his editors said, I stopped responding. When the article came out, Cafier accused me of ghosting him, which is misleading. What actually happened is we had several scheduling conflicts, and after badgering me for weeks, I tried to accommodate him even while I was traveling out of the country. When we finally agreed on a day, Justin didn't follow through, and he didn't contact me again for nearly a month. Since he was unprofessional and not forthright, I stopped responding. But Justin simply...
Okay, I'm sorry.
When we finally agreed on a day, Justin didn't follow through, and he didn't contact me again for nearly a month.
Hey man, got something ready to publish, but it really does feel incomplete without getting your side of the story. Is there any way you could meet me tonight or tomorrow to get on the horn to go over some things? Okay. Alright, yeah, maybe this journalist just, like, really didn't follow up and was not, you know... Maybe this journalist really didn't follow up and was not thorough, right? And that's very possible, but I'm not sure that that is an indicator that this journalist is part of this group that is coordinating harassment, right? So this lawyer could very much, not lawyer, sorry. This journalist could very much be dropping the ball and be lazy and slacking on the job. But again, I don't know how that really proves that there's a group coordinating to, like, fuck his life up, you know? What does this have to do with Justin Whang? Nothing. Oh yeah, we've been there, Vito. We've been there a few times. We forgot that this video was supposed to be about Justin Whang, so. Like when you submit your paper as a JPEG file and act surprised when it doesn't open. Yeah, I don't know.
Since he was unprofessional and not forthright, I stopped responding. But Justin simply said that I turned down the interview, which implies that I didn't give him a statement.
Wait.
Didn't contact me again for nearly a month. Since he was unprofessional and not forthright, I stopped responding. But Justin simply said that I turned down the interview, which implies...
To him, it maybe... I don't know. Maybe to him it looks like he turned down multiple requests. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of this part. I don't know. Turned down multiple requests to be interviewed for this article. January, but the interview request was in July. That's a really good point, Ed Council. This is too schizo for me. I'm going to bed. Thank you for stopping by, Jenny. I hope you're having a great night.
That I didn't give him a statement, except I did. Literally, my first response to him stated that almost everything said about me has been false or misleading. When the article came out, Cafier, of course, didn't publish the statement and neglected to disclose his relationship.
Okay, alright. Maybe we can come to the conclusion that Cafier is just a lousy reporter, not very good at his job. But, that I'm still confused about... I guess, okay, he's bringing this in because it's related to the Kokonos guy, and the Kokonos guy is related to this group that is coordinating harassment against Maddox, possibly, allegedly, you know? Yeah, you know, I think that there might be, like, decent things that could be said here, right? This Cafier reporter might have been lazy, right? You know, might have been, like, a shitty reporter who didn't follow up on shit. I just don't see... I guess, is he going to allege that this reporter is part of this group that's coordinating harassment against him?
To Asterios. This isn't even the first time Cafier has written a puff piece for one of his friends. Back in 2018, he wrote this article where he helped promote his friend's TV show without disclosing their relationship. I've written a full article about Justin's nepotism and his failure to disclose his conflicts of interest at Vice magazine for those of you who are interested. As for why I'm finally talking about this, it's because I'm still dealing with the fallout from Mysterios' smear campaign. He even published his false narrative on his friend Rich Kiyonka's website, better known as Low Tax. Low Tax's greatest hits include Something Awful and Women. And of course, Asterios even defended Low Tax in his hit piece against me. And the stuff you've seen in this video barely scratches the surface, like when he started posting what he claimed to be my girlfriend's phone number online, which caused her distress because she'd have to drop everything she was doing and check social media every time this dipshit threatened to dox her. Except the fucking idiot added the real area code of the city we live in, so his hate mob started calling and harassing some random guy in Los Angeles. Good job, dumbass. If Asterios hadn't
if that's true, that like that is kind of like fucked up. But you know, I don't know.
Carpet bombed the internet with so much bullshit, I probably wouldn't have had to make this video. And if he didn't threaten me, encourage people to review bomb my podcast, harass my sponsors, and publish a fraudulent ad to hurt my book sales, I wouldn't have had to take him to court. I would honestly love to never have to mention this idiot ever again. Had Justin not involved himself and minded his own fucking business instead of attacking me completely unprovoked, I wouldn't have had to make this video about him either. What I've learned through all of this is that
the video's only half about Justin Whang. What the fuck?
There's almost no downside to slander. If you smear somebody on a platform like YouTube,
that was the phone number from the Jenny song? Oh.
You gain money, clicks, and notoriety. And when the person you're slandering responds to set the record straight and prove you wrong, as they usually do, the person making the smears can either double down and get more clicks on the drama, or they can apologize. Unless the person you're slandering has the time, energy, and resources to litigate, scumbags like Justin will always profit off of slander and drama. And even if Justin doesn't monetize his apology, the damage is already done. He successfully removed me from a panel and silenced me from speaking engagements.
How did we get to this point in this country where instead—
Did he really though? Like, sorry, my throat from screaming earlier. So, okay. The only evidence he really posted of like Justin spamming, okay, he claims that Justin like spread lies and slander to this organization that was creating the speaking engagement. But he only posted, he said, I'll show you a small sample of what they will send to this organization to get me removed from it. And the small sample that he included was this Heather S. account making the false rape allegation. He didn't include anything else. So I want to know what the other smears are other than the false rape allegation, right? Because the false rape allegation by itself is something that could like definitely like end all. It's something that you could use to like end all conversation. Like, oh, this, you know, these people made a false rape allegation against me, and therefore like everything else, you know, how can you trust anything else they say? But we don't have evidence that this group is even behind the false rape allegation. All we know is that one account, Heather S., follows a bunch of people that Maddox doesn't get along with. And possibly some people that may even harass him. I don't know. He showed Justin posting a link to a talk he was giving. He didn't tell anyone to do anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything there. I didn't see anything. Justin linked a screenshot of the event's info within their Facebook group. Right. So, but was there anything else that was sent to that organization? Oh, fuck. Did I fuck up something? Okay, no, never mind. My monitor went off for a second. Was there anything else that was sent? I don't know what the other allegations are, or what the other smears are, or the other slander, right? The only thing he mentioned is the Heather S. allegation. Would you rather watch a Whang video or read Wikipedia? Well, look, my point in this is that I think Maddox could have made several different videos here. He could have made a video where he just made fun of Justin Whang and was just like, I don't like the way that Justin Whang makes content. And that would have been like enough, you know, and it would have been fine, whatever. You don't like Justin's content and that's your right to make a video on it, right? And you can call the way that he makes the content lazy. You can make fun of him for being the meme police and calling people out for stealing memes because nobody gives a fuck about that, right? Like that's some soy shit if I've ever seen it, right? you didn't need to call him a plagiarizer, right? Like, why are you calling? I don't know that. I don't think he should have called Justin Whang a plagiarist and a hack, because that's just ridiculous. The Giga Chad thing to do would just be like, this guy's being a soy bitch for crying about people stealing memes. That's it. Then make a second video about whatever the fuck this second half of this video is, right? He posted the contact info for the people who were holding the talk in a group of people who were constantly calling Maddox's sponsors and so on. It's cut and dry, and thinking anything else is because you like Justin Whang. He did plagiarize though. I can easily show that evidence, Vito. LOL. Maddox does show it in the video. I don't know that calling something meme police versus calling something content cop is like enough for me to think that it's plagiarizing. Like, even the part where he shows like Justin speaking and then the words underneath, the stuff that Justin says, like, yeah, it's related information, but it's not ripped word for word. It's like paraphrased at the very least, right? If Whang really did post the contact info for that organization in the group, that's fucking stupid. He shouldn't have done that, right? But do you guys want to like come on and talk about it, since you both are arguing about it? Try paraphrasing like that on a college paper. You know, fair. Leaking phone number on someone's girlfriend, creating duress, and ended up harassing wrong person is also kind of bad. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, but I think I'm banned from your Discord. Aren't we friends on Discord though? Podawful.
Instead of debating the people that we disagree with, we just want to silence them outright.
Yeah, good question, Justin. I wonder how we got here. People like Justin represent the very worst elements of cancel culture. He's exactly like the woke, SJW, PC culture he claims to hate, except worse, because at least they're not pretending to be champions of free speech. If anyone deserves to be the target of cancel culture, it's truly him and all the shady, clout-chasing drama losers like him. Well, you
Vito, what's your Discord tag? I'll add you both to a call, and then we can like do like a call here.
Like drama so much, congratulations, dipshit. Now you have some of your own. The only reason I ever took any of these people to court is because they don't know how to fuck off and leave people alone. Don't like it? Don't fuck with people's livelihoods and they won't fuck with yours. Justin, Asterios, Vice, and the phony progressives of Weber Shanwick can all go fuck themselves. So in conclusion, what have we learned? Unfortunately, that nothing ever gets accomplished unless you make a big public stink about it. From having to bitch about customer service on social media to get remonetized on YouTube and to getting people to leave you the fuck alone, nothing ever gets done unless you go public. So part of the reason I'm making this video now is to let people know about some of the bullshit I've been dealing with for years now. So part of the fallout from all of this is that Justin Whang has now been exposed as an unfunny plagiarist, a joke thief, and a hack. But of all his offenses, perhaps the most egregious one, and the one that's most unforgivable, is that he's part of a nu metal band. Don't forget to send me your tales from the internet videos.
I have to disagree with that. I will reiterate, I hate new age music, okay? New age music, I think, is an actual crime against humanity. All new age musicians do is they make a little motif with on their electric music program, you know, whatever, their computer music program. They make a little motif, they repeat that, they stretch it out over a long period of time, and then they stretch it out and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and never put anything new in it, and then they sell it to a fucking yoga studio to fucking play. All right, and then no, I'm talking about new age. I'm talking about new age, okay? And they and it's the shittiest music possible. It is devoid of all, you know, any inspiration, any creativity, anything. All right. And I hate new age music. And, you know, if you listen to that shit, you have to have the IQ of like a dog or something. Not even a dog. You have to have an IQ of a turtle to listen to that shit. Okay? I'm just saying. And you do yoga to that music? Well, bro, come on. Stimulate your brain a little bit. At least put on something. Put on something that is somewhat creatively inspired. I don't know. That's my opinion. All right, I'm gonna add these people to a call.
5 minutes later.
All right, so,
Ensler, no.
Please don't. Oh, God.
I think that's why I was banned from the Discord.
Possibly.
Not a good
I'd never have said that ever.
Never on YouTube, never. In private all the time. No.
I just did a whole show about this like minutes ago. I was doing the exact same thing as you're doing right now. This just happens. This topic happens to cross two things I'm very involved with and passionate about, which is I hate Justin Whang, and also I was incredibly involved in all of the stuff that Maddox is talking about.
Okay.
With Asterios, I was part of his lawsuit and all of that kind of shit. And if you look carefully in some of those screenshots, you'll see my name and shit in there. But
ooh. And I'm the newest Asterios, so
yeah, you're new Asterios. And I've known about everything he talks about in this video. I've known about since I was there for all of it. I already knew all of this shit.
Okay,
well, so okay, that's a good question. Is any of this new?
Okay, well, just to like disclose fully, guys, I have no fucking idea about any of this shit. All right, I'm learning about it for the first time right now.
Yeah.
And I have no like horse in this race. If that's, I don't know what the saying is, but I have no horse in the race. So yeah. So
you've got no pony in this fight.
Yeah.
No pony in the fight.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
No, I get it. I get it. Although, I mean, all right. First of all, though, I do have to ask you because I literally just stopped streaming. Somebody sent me this link. They're like, Stardust is talking about this. You should take a look.
Yeah.
And so, do you like Justin Whang though?
I don't have any I don't watch his content. I follow Maddox on Twitter and he follows me back. I follow Justin Whang on Twitter. He follows me back. I follow like Dick Masterson on Twitter. He follows me back, right? That's like the relationship that I have with most of these people is that like we've interacted in passing. I did read Maddox's website when I was 10 and I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah. And also recently I found out that we both use the same Snapchat banana filter occasionally on stream. Yeah. So,
right, yeah. Okay.
I remember seeing you as a banana, and I'm like, why did Maddox stop? Clearly, other people have continued as a banana and are having lots of fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had like any interaction or had him on your show with Whang or anything like that? I just need to know this.
I do not. And again, I'm trying to be as fair as possible. I do think that like Maddox has. Like, he can very much accuse Justin Whang of, like, being, like, a beta for, like, going after people for stealing memes, right? Like, who fucking cares, right? I think, sure, he has a point there. But I don't know that I guess, have enough information to call it plagiarism or, like, enough information to, like... Is there information out there that is, like, definitively proves that there's, like, a group of people coordinating harassment against him, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100% for sure.
Okay.
Now, is some of it deserved though? Yeah, probably. To be honest, I just want to be clear. Like, I used to be on Maddox's podcast network, right? And I happened to join at the most tumultuous time that could ever possibly exist. There's a big unspoken thing in this video, and he's not saying it for a reason, but this all stems from his falling out with Dick Masterson, who I think you know who.
Yeah, he does not mention him even once. He put some screenshot, like some text messages, but
yeah.
If you know Dick Masterson's real name, you'll know that certain things are about him in there. But he never says the name. He never says anything. And Vito, of course, is friends with and does a show with Dick Masterson.
That's correct.
I joined, so I didn't know that. Nobody knew this. Except for Asterios, actually. But Maddox and Dick had this falling out. It happened behind the scenes. They had a podcast together, the original The Biggest Problem in the Universe. And Maddox came on the show and said, Dick had been gone for like a week, but didn't say he was gone permanently or anything. And then he said, like, I'm starting a podcast network. And I went, I have a podcast. And so I sent him my shit. So I wasn't, by the way, I was a Dick Masterson fan. I was listening to their podcast because I never was a Maddox guy. I'm the guy who didn't read Maddox when I was 10. I watched Dick Masterson on Dr. Phil, and I liked him. And so, you know, this is the biggest irony of all this. And I accidentally somehow aligned myself with Maddox at the worst possible time.
Mhm.
And Maddox has had this whole thing for years now where he doesn't talk about this situation.
Mhm.
And I have talked about it to him because we were friends and I know him personally. And I was the first person he spilled all of this shit to. And I used to tell him, like, I don't care. Don't tell me this stuff. And then he'd unload it on me, and now I've just got it in my head. But he had this falling out with Dick. It was over a girl.
Mhm.
Gay. I mean, just kind of gay shit. And then Dick decided to capitalize on that and talked about it all the time. He made an entire podcast about it. And Maddox never talked about it except for one time. Somebody in the chat asked about this. They said, didn't Maddox put out like a hit video on Dick? And no, Dick talked about this stuff without ever actually saying why they really had to split up, and was like making fun of Maddox. All of Maddox's former fans, the people who used to read his website when they were 10, became Dick fans and started watching the Dick show and started relentlessly going after Maddox. Now, I have no issue with that. I relentlessly go after people all the time. I've done it. Vito, is he over here? Where is he?
Yeah, I'm here.
So I've done it to Vito. I've also made up with Vito. I have no problem with people making fun of a guy, but it was pretty relentless. It was really bad, and Maddox shot himself in the foot because he would never respond until he put out this one video that kind of addressed shit. And Maddox is okay,
dude. The video he put out was like,
it was crazy.
It was, I mean, it was almost as bad as this video. Look, he has a habit of being like, I'm going to defend myself, but then doing it like a fucking snake and leaving out like obvious information that everyone knows, and is going to go, okay, but what about this and this and this and this?
Well,
like,
I would argue that it's not a problem of leaving stuff out. It's a problem of putting shit in. And I've told him this to his face multiple times, that you don't like, he's number one, he's allergic to to good ideas. He's allergic to good ideas. Number two, he's allergic to good advice. And he put out this video that kind of addressed his side of this whole breakup, this man breakup. And I never helped things because I was constantly trolling all of his former fans and stuff and trying to get, like, teasing them with the info and stuff. Maddox finally puts this thing out. His fans and the former fans of his, all the people who, if anyone knows any of this info, they're a Dick Show fan. That's the only way they know this. These guys were ravenous for this info. They wanted it so bad. So he puts out this thing. And I would say the first half of the video is fair and fine, but then he tries to make it about like that Dick Masterson in real life, outside of his character, is a rape apologist, and he used some edited clips from their podcast to try to make that case. And I told him when he released it, I was like, that's great. That's fucked. You should not say that, because that's crazy. And the funniest part of that is the first time I was ever on his show as a guest, I said the exact same shit, not knowing that Dick had ever said this. I made the exact same jokes that Dick made, that he had this whole freak out
rape
about.
apology jokes.
Yes, the exact. I mean, I said the exact same shit. If you listen to it, it's like I had heard it before. I hadn't. These were things he had edited out of the podcast. No one had ever heard it until he released this video. And I brought that up to him. I was like, you're kind of a hypocrite because you brought me on the network. I'm saying this shit on your show and you're laughing. I always said that shit was bad. That's where all this stemmed from. Asterios is this like third party to all of it. He and I were like, he was sort of the me of the Dick Show at the time. And now Vito is the new Asterios. It's a very weird. Did you know, Vito, that technically makes you the new me of the Dick Show. Isn't that weird?
That's fun. I'll say this. I was late to all of this party. I didn't know anything about the Dick Show when I got involved. But the more I've learned, and let's be clear, like, I kind of like Maddox. As crazy as that sounds.
Maddox is a nice guy and funny. Like, he is a likable guy in real life. It's hard not.
Okay, so here's what happened is Maddox had a successful podcast, and then he, like, made a bunch of huge mistakes, and he fucked himself over. It's one of those things where I think everybody goes, Maddox, stop making things worse for yourself. just eat a slice of humble pie, make a video and say, I went nuts because my co-host started dating my ex-girlfriend. I was bitter and jealous, and I was a little bitch.
That wasn't
And
entirely it. That's the Dick version of it, but yes.
It's part
What
of
do you
it.
think is missing? What do you think is
What
missing
do I
from
think
that?
Are you
what
asking
is
me or
missing?
Vito?
What is the other part of the equation there?
That, this is really in the weeds, but I'll try to say it as fast as possible. The reason Dick started dating, who is his current girlfriend? He's still with her. I think they're probably married now, right? So
I don't think they're married.
There's a rumor that they're secretly married. But anyway, the Dick is still with this girl. This girl used to be with Maddox. They were long-term relationship with Maddox. Dick and Maddox were best friends. Maddox thought, but apparently Dick did not think this, which is kind of an awkward situation to be in. And also Dick, everything Dick has is thanks to Maddox. That's just fucking true. And so when they went to a wedding of a mutual
Not everything, but it helped a lot. Let's say that.
It's everything currently. Yes.
Dick did the Dr. Phil thing by himself. Like he had some success as a comedian already.
100%. And that's why I know who he is, and that's why I liked him. But that's not most people, and that's none of the current.
I would say Maddox made him an internet, celebrity.
Yes, and got him in at the fucking comedy theaters and stuff, and got him into all these TV show talks and all this stuff. But anyway, the point is, and let's face it, Dick wants to be an actor real bad, so that helps.
He is. He was on a Netflix show. Like
I know he wasn't for a long time.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
It's just a small appearance, but he's still acting.
He had a little part, But the point is, they went to this mutual friend's wedding, okay? And the Maddox's ex shows up. Dick is currently with this woman. I won't say her name. He calls her 80s girl, so we'll call her 80s girl. 80s girl shows up and and tries to hit on Maddox at the party while Maddox he has a new girlfriend. He's there with her. I've talked to multiple people who are at this wedding. This is undisputed except for maybe by Dick Masterson, but it's just true. She tried to sleep with Maddox, and Maddox, being with a girlfriend there, rebuffed her. There's supposedly some stuff about Maddox trying to work it into a three-way situation, which should be fine on Dick's part. He's tried to do the same with her. But whether or not that's true, I don't know. But point is, she left that wedding that day with Dick purposefully to make Maddox jealous, and texted him to tell him that much. She let him know that she went home with it. There was back and forth. There's all this stuff about Maddox as a cuck and stuff, and Dick stole his girlfriend. She went with Dick to make Maddox jealous because he rebuffed her advances. That part is never told. Maddox has never told anyone that story. And again, I'm not just hearing that from Maddox. I'm hearing that from the girlfriend who was there, his now ex-girlfriend. She was there. I've heard it from other people who are well into this. And I've heard it from Stereos Kokonos, the guy that this fucking video is really about, more so than Whang. And a guy in your chat says, like, Dick made a ton of money talking about this too. And that's where the real story comes in. It's 100% true. Dick made a ton of fucking money because Maddox wouldn't open his mouth. Maddox put out
well, that's the problem is Maddox could have also made money. He's like a dummy. Or he could have also just like ended the show more amicably, and I think Dick would have not monetized him as much. If it was just like, listen, man, let's just go our separate ways. But instead it's clear that like, he really took it really hard, and then he started like fucking around. So like they had the old iTunes playlist or whatever it is, the iTunes feed with all the episodes of The Biggest Problem Show.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's an archive of the show that we did together. Like, theoretically, we should have joint ownership. But then Maddox just started using that feed to upload his new podcast, like, exclusively. And it's like, well, that's kind of fucked, dude. Like, that's our show. You can't just, like, take it over and start uploading your new show to it. And I have to do all my promotion by myself or whatever.
That's assuming that Maddox told Dick, like, you're fired and forced him out. And that's not what happened. I mean, it's just not what happened. And Maddox did own the show. That whole in the universe thing is Maddox's branding. He invented the show. He did all of the fucking work behind the show. Like, listen, I've had co-hosts on my show. Podawful is still a Jesse product. I own it. I will always own it. I started the show with another guy, but I invented it all and I did all the work. That's my show. When you're Maddox and everyone finds out who Dick Masterson is through Maddox, you own the show. He owned that feed. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. I am saying that he was legally right, whether a court found that to be true or not, and clearly it did not.
Well, we're like relitigating ancient history at this point. I think the point that we came on here to discuss was, did Justin Whang do anything wrong? And I'm gonna say, look, maybe he was like a little bit naive to post to this group and not expect someone to like try to fuck around with Maddox's speaking engagement or whatever. But to use that post as like the basis for a 55-minute takedown, come on, dude. Like, you need way more fucking shit to be like, and that makes him part of a massive conspiracy. And by the way, let me spend the next 30 minutes talking about a different member of that obvious conspiracy.
That's like, very funny to do.
Like I said,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to make this point is like, there are people who want Maddox to make comedy. I think Maddox is funny. A year ago, he made like a video about like kids' spatial awareness or whatever, and I thought it was really good. And I was like, Maddox, I hope you just keep making videos. Like, at any point, you fucked up your brand, you lost a bunch of fans, but content is king. If you make good content, new people will find it. They'll forgive you for the old shit. You can still have a career as a comedian. So when he was like, I've got a new video coming out, I was genuinely like, good. We're getting past this stupid drama that destroyed Maddox's life. He's going to go back to making funny videos again, and he can have a career. Instead, he puts out this, and it's just like, I'm sad. I'm so sad that he made this. I'm like,
I hope
he hasn't learned anything. This is not helpful to him or his brand. Everyone who watches it goes, how is this about Justin Whang? I feel like you just tricked me into watching a video about a nobody comedian that, and we asked Justin Whang today, we're like, when's the last time you talked to a stereo? He's like, I haven't talked to that guy in 4 years. And yet he's making videos about how they have a massive conspiracy to destroy him. It's like, bro, this is the most ridiculous thing.
There's no way it's been 4 years since he last talked to him. Some of those photos in that video are more recent than that. But I agree with most of what you said, and I hope he does keep just putting out normal videos. I think he had to do this video. I don't think he had to do it by using Justin Whang as a jumping off point. I think that, and I said on my show,
this is such a miscalculation.
It's slimy. It is slimy.
All he has to do, honestly, the stuff about Asterios, like, he says some stuff where I go, yeah, like, dude, that guy was clearly fucking around. He should not have been taking out ads with your name on them and putting them on your Reddit. Like, that's fucked. He should not. There was like some other stuff out there that he was like doing where I'm like, okay, this was a guy who was clearly taking the joke too far.
Justin Whang. So I've known who Justin Whang was before he had a fucking YouTube following, like a real one. And he was in that fucking Dick Show Facebook group. That's how I first ever knew of him. I have screenshots of him talking about me, like my show and stuff, and saying that he hopes I get more Patreon subscribers than Maddox, and that would be funny. And that he was heavily involved in this group.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's heavily involved. This is why I don't like Justin Whang. This is what first made me notice him. Was I didn't just see him there. I saw him in multiple fan communities of other people. And he would try to ingratiate himself by doing what they do, whatever the culture is there, in order to try to bring people over to his YouTube channel, which tons of people do that kind of shit. And it worked for him. The way it worked for him was he did the same thing with the MDE subreddit. He was on the $1 Million Extreme subreddit. And his first big video was that Sam Hyde versus H3. Or is it a ripoff thing? And that's what he was doing there too. So over there, he's an MDE guy. In the Dick Masterson group, he's a Dick Masterson guy. And I saw him in multiple places like this. I can't even name them all now. I think the Drunken Peasants was one as well. He was trying to get anybody's fan base to follow him. And that was his method of doing it. He was involved in all of the shit that went on in the Dick Show group. And the shit that went on in the Dick Show group was contacting Maddox's sponsors, and they used me as the excuse to do it and trying to get Maddox's livelihood taken from him. I said the N-word on a stream behind a paywall that on a show that was not on Maddox's podcast network. I had multiple shows, and this was one that had nothing to do with Madcast. And someone paid into my paywall, clipped that, and sent it to Maddox's sponsors and said that was Maddox's show to get sponsors taken down. Justin was there for all of that. He commented on all of it. When he posted, what is the point of posting the people holding an event's names and phone numbers and shit, their contact info?
That is a good point. Yeah, that's a decent point.
But wait,
yeah.
that screenshot looked like it was just like, here's the list of speakers. It didn't look like
because Maddox censored out the contact info that's in if you look at it, you can see.
Is the contact info just like, here's where the fucking venue is? Did it have people's phone numbers of the hosts?
No.
Let me see if I can find it.
I'm sure it didn't have their phone number, but obviously you post the fucking people who are involved in it, and that's who you contact to get someone taken.
I don't know, man. You can say it's like obvious, but I can also just be like, no, like he wanted to show here's what he's speaking on, so he sent.
It wasn't about what he was speaking on. It was about who was there and what was the result. Maddox got kicked out of it.
Well, yeah, hindsight's 2020. You can go, shit, I probably shouldn't have posted that thing. I didn't realize somebody was...
It's not hindsight if you're in there. Okay, listen. I'll put it to you like this. I've got a bit of a reputation, let's say. Let's say Podawful, me, I do that. I go somewhere and publicly post the same shit. What do you think my fucking intention is? And if you think it's different, it's a difference of what you think about Podawful and what you think of Justin
But
Whang.
I think I can have a difference of opinion there. Is that, again, if you want to make the point, like, here's Justin Whang in the past telling people to go fuck around, then I'd go, oh, yeah, that does kind of really color this. Like, maybe that is what he was doing.
He did used to do. Again, when he was in the MDE summer, it's like, go fuck with the H3. Hey, Justin Whang sort of invented the rivalry between H3 and Sam High. I don't know if you guys realize that. Sam High never used to talk shit about H3 at all. That video and his research on it sort of invented that.
Well, look, if this is true, though, then this video was badly made. Like, if there's all these smoking guns that can make it clear that Justin Whang has a history of, like, targeting people and sending his followers after them, okay, but that's not here. Like, this is 30 minutes of talking about Asterios.
That's not what was claimed, and that's not what I'm saying now either. He didn't have followers. He was a nobody then. He was in the group as a fan.
You know, there's guys I don't like. Like, I don't like this Eric July guy, and, like, if it's, you know, when he announces I'm giving a talk at Comic-Con, I go, oh, look who's giving a talk at Comic-Con, and, you know, I post the picture of it, but that's not me telling people, hey, go in there and fuck with him. That's just me being like, how can this, you know, I could see very easily Justin Whang being like, why the fuck is Maddox giving a talk about how to manage your social media when he's a complete fuck up who's, you know, destroyed his own brand? Like,
when Justin posted that, it had been at least a year after Dick had his followers take down my Patreon, which happened.
But he said, here's how Maddox is keeping the lights on and casted it. I hate to say it, I'm also a guy who goes, how the fuck is Maddox making any money? He doesn't put ads on his website. He makes one video a year and he live streams as a banana. I'm very curious about how he possibly makes $1.
Stardust,
so if I saw that he was giving a speech, I would be like, oh, here's maybe a way he's making money.
Can you go back to the frame that has that image in it again, Stardust?
The one, yeah. So this one is where it says, you're talking about this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this one does not look particularly good to me, but again, I don't know what's blurred out.
That's contact info. That's fucking contact info on all of those people.
But it's for the like, what is it? Their like Twitter addresses, or is it like where?
If
I'm
it's
so
confused.
confused.
If it's a place to contact them, what is the point of that?
Okay, if those are phone numbers, like, I can almost agree with you.
Why does it have to be if it's somewhere you can contact the person in charge and tell them, hey, get rid of this guy, he's a rapist, then what does it matter what the means of communication is? What is the point of posting it? Now, again, it's a year after they've already done this multiple times to me, to Maddox. And this is important. And by the way, this is not good for Maddox. It's a year after Maddox, in retaliation to these people doing this shit to him, got Dick kicked out of venues too. And I'm sure, Vito, you've heard that shit before. And
I've heard that Maddox has personally called venues saying you need to cancel this comedy show because it's a neo-Nazi rally.
So
I have no proof that it was actually him, but
I don't think it was. But in fact, I think I know who it is, but I won't,
Sure.
I don't think it's Maddox, but
That's the thing. It's been a tit for tat, like back and forth thing. But Maddox is not going to give up any of that. He's not going to say, so I turned around and I called and got a comedy show canceled. Like, this is a very one-sided narrative.
He's not going to say that, which actually shoots him in the foot, because that would be the context that posting fucking contact information, that's the context you need. If you're in a group where that shit has happened to your guy and someone posts contact information to a thing that the other guy is going to be at, what do you think that's signaling? It signals one thing. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. He's never going to say that. I'm not saying one person is more right than I don't give a shit about. I don't care.
I just want Maddox to stop fucking up his life, and this is like going to look terrible for him. He pretended. Okay, Justin Whang, say whatever you want about him. People love Justin Whang. He's a very popular guy. Okay, so if you're gonna attack him, you need something good. He has this very loose definition of plagiarism, like, oh well, he didn't, give credit for this Max Headroom story, a story everybody knows about, and there's thousands of sources for it, and you don't need to, source every.
In fairness, though, he did use the one source over.
He's making but he's making stupid internet videos. It's like you can say morally it kind of sucks.
All of those are bad.
Dude, credit it, but it's not illegal. It's like, that's kind of like a shitty practice, dude. Like, you should credit people. I bet if you asked him, if you said, Justin, I would feel much more comfortable if you credited your sources on these videos. Could you add this link? I bet Justin's the kind of guy who would go, yeah, sure, I can link to that article. You know what? Didn't even cross my mind. I've never gotten the feeling that he's trying to hide what sources he's using. It probably just slipped his mind. Like, I use royalty-free music, and you're supposed to, in the video every time, put, I got this royalty-free music from this guy, and here's what. Sometimes I forget to put it in. I get lazy. I'm like, fuck, I forgot to credit that guy, whatever else. Like, trying to make it sound like Justin Whang is like, ooh, I'm stealing from people to make these videos. No, he forgot to credit a guy. Who gives a shit?
Just because every YouTuber does the bad way of making videos doesn't make it okay. I'm 100% with you.
I'm not saying it makes it okay, but it's very stupid to make a hour-long video saying you're going to take down Justin Whang, and the best you have is he didn't credit an article that he used as the basis for a video.
You're forgetting a major point of it, which is that he wouldn't have used the plagiarism call against Justin Whang if Justin Whang didn't make videos calling out other people for plagiarism. He did. It was the hypocrisy. He did the thing.
It's very boring.
Here's a couple of things.
Go ahead, Stardust.
Yeah, so I think that, Maddox had, could have made a very funny video on its own where he just made fun of Justin Whang for crying about people stealing memes, right?
Yes.
That, we've already been over that. I think that would have been hilarious.
Clearly was not the point he was trying to make.
Yeah, I know it wasn't the point he was trying to make. But I think using Justin Whang to get to the point of George. Is his name George? Not George.
Asterios Kokkinos.
Asterios Kokkinos. I'm mixing up names here. Is, I don't know, I feel like it's a stretch. I feel like he could have just focused a video on Asterios Kokkinos by itself.
Yes.
And I think also he made a really interesting point about, the most recent thing that everybody's been outraged about has been Twitch streamers reacting to YouTube videos badly, right? He could have made a video.
Talked about that.
Yeah, he could have even made a video about these YouTube videos video people are talking about Twitch streamers reacting to content badly and not crediting them. Well, what about how they make these videos and don't credit the sources that they get, right?
It's the exact same thing. The people, everybody who's like, what's that fucking, it's a Sniper Wolf or whatever. Everybody who's shitting on her right now for what she does with TikTok videos, that's exactly what Justin Whang does with Wikipedia articles or what. I mean, it is the exact same fucking thing. He doesn't add anything. Vito, when you or I use the music and forget to credit it in some way, we still made a bunch of shit around nobody thinks we made the music. We made a bunch of shit around it. When Justin Whang makes a video reading a Vice article but doesn't say it's a Vice article, all he did was read a Vice article. There's nothing else on top. There's no original research. There's no original commentary. There's no jokes. He doesn't
At the end of the day, though, like, this is not a video about Justin Whang. It's a secret way to get everybody to learn about Asterios Kokkinos.
Yes, and despite what you said earlier that everyone is like, what is this? Look at the comments. That ain't true. It is kind of working. I don't agree with him doing it. I said it's slimy, but if that's the way, I think
we'll see, man. I think at the end of the day, like, he might get some like dumbasses who are like, wow, way to expose whatever. But I think you're gonna have a lot of people who are fans of Justin Whang who are gonna prepare rebuttals and be like, this video is fucking insane, and 100%. Literally whatever you're accusing Justin Whang of is I mean, the fact that he's trying to connect Justin Whang to like rape allegations and shit, it's like, what is this, dude? Just make 2 different videos.
What you're saying about Justin Whang is extremely popular with both. He has YouTube fans, children, and then he also is popular with creators because for years he ingratiated himself into their groups. So what you're saying about his, people being like, I don't get what you're saying about Justin Whang and blah, blah, blah. And he'd get pushback from the fans, whether or not he tied this Asterios part in. That would be true either way. People would push back on it just because they like Justin Whang. It doesn't make what he's saying about Justin less true. Again, it's slimy to connect it, but if you imagine that he just made the video about Justin, like 3 years ago, I'm the only person I know of that was calling out Justin Whang 3 years ago for almost all this exact same shit, but I knew that it was a fucking, I might as well stick my head in a toilet doing it.
But what's at the end of it? What's the point? Justin Whang makes lazy videos, and you want to shit on him? Like, okay.
Every YouTuber who does it should be fucking called out for every single it's
I think it's a waste of time, man. Most YouTube content is trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying a YouTuber's making trash content, it's like, wow, really? It's like you went to trash.com. What did you expect you were gonna find?
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, the top content on YouTube is people calling out other YouTubers, and in fact, the video makes that point. So listen, maybe there would be less trash content if more people were called out for being plagiarists and boring. And that's what's been
the audience has proven that they're perfectly fine with trash. Like,
it's kids. That's children.
Yeah, it's children. They don't care. Yes. Dude, PewDiePie can't even get his white balance settings right. Like, trying to honestly, I look at your set and I go, wow, what a cool set. And I wish that people cared about how good your set is.
I do think it's a really, really good set. Yeah.
I appreciate all of that. I agree with you to a point on, like, I'm the only person who actually cares about it. Most people don't care about this. However,
I mean, I care about it, and I've thought about doing the same thing, and I'm like, it would be a waste of my money because literally no one in the audience would care. Right. It would only be for me. It would only be for me.
You're 100% right, as long as you're doing content that is that same sort of easily digestible stuff. I'll just put it that way. But people hate me. So if I didn't have this, I'd have no one.
You'd have nothing. The high production quality is what makes it work.
I get people all the time who straight up hate me and say, I'll give him this. His production value is high. So listen, I do care about these things. And when I did a video about Justin 3 years ago, I was making fun of the fact that he's in front of his bed doing these videos. I care immensely about this shit.
That's so many of these. That's so many. Even PewDiePie is in like a fucking closet. People, the audience doesn't care. It's sad. We're off track, and I can't stick around too much. So why don't I just give a final point? I wanted Maddox to come back and make more funny videos. Instead, he seems trapped in this drama that happened 4 years ago. If he wants to make a video about it, that's fine. But why not just make a video that says there's this guy Asterios. He fucked with me, did some things behind my back. It really, fucked up my life. I've made some mistakes myself, and I'll admit to them. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm back. I just want to make fun videos, and I hope, I don't know, I hope some of you will forgive me or give me a chance or something. Like, this is not the way to come back.
I agree. I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a comeback. You got to go away to come back, and he went away. Maddox went away. He was barely a presence. But then when you come back, you got to come back humble. You got to go, I made mistakes. What's his name? What's that actor? You know, you go, oh, I can't believe I said all the thing about the Jews and the blacks. What was I thinking? But I'm back and I'm ready to make movies again. And I hope you guys will give me another chance. Instead, this just comes off as pedantic. He's attacking Justin Whang for no reason. Like, he's fucked his comeback up. And it's tragic to me.
I think he can still
do shit to him.
I think he can still come back, and I think that you guys have a point in that, like, if he were open about, okay, there's this guy Asterios who like fucked up a lot of shit for me, and he harassed me, and he presented all this stuff, right? And to me, honestly, he looks like schizophrenic to me. But you know, he, like, if he put that out there, he was open about the thing with Dick Masterson and his ex-girlfriend. Anybody could empathize with that. Anybody would like be like, yeah, you know what? If my friend, somebody who I thought was like my best friend, started dating my ex-girlfriend, yeah, I would go a little bit crazy too, right? I think he
has to get that specific. I don't think he has to bring up any of that, but just say, guys, you know, I had a falling out with, you know, the comedy community. I made a lot of mistakes. You don't even have to get into the nitty-gritty. You don't have to say it was over a girl. I mean, honestly, I would be sympathetic towards him if he said that. If he said there was a girl I was in love with, my partner started fucking her, and I went fucking nuts. And I'm over, and I realized I reacted wrong. I went over the top. It was wrong of me. I was, you know, fucking mental in the head. And at this point, I just want to get back to making comedy. I apologize to anyone I've hurt. Obviously, I can't undo anything I've done. But I just hope people will give me a second chance.
I could show you.
How could anyone hold that against him? How could anyone say, we're going to keep beating up? But no, he opens himself up. Now everyone's going to beat up on him again and go, well, you're attacking Justin Whang for no reason. Like, I mean, you have that right, but it's like a weird way to come back. And then you're connecting it to this guy who fucked with you or legally or what. This is not how to handle this, Maddox. You're killing me. You're killing me. Just be a banana.
I have hundreds of emails I could show you of me saying all of this shit directly to him since 2017. This is definitely not the time. He should have done this fucking, 4 years ago, maybe, or way sooner than that even. I agree with all that. That said, I hope he puts out the Dick Masterson video. I'm fucking ready.
I don't think he will, man. I don't think there's anything left there.
And Vito, you said, oh, he's still stuck on this thing from 5 years ago, which may be true, but I dare Dick Masterson to not cover this. You want to talk about? No chance. There's no chance.
Let's put it this way. When I talk about stuck on, like, I'm talking about him stuck on the idea that he was wronged and he did nothing wrong. Like, obviously, yes, he should still be, connected to this very pivotal thing where he lost a big part of his following. And if I'm Dick and a guy sues me for $100 million, I hate to say it, anytime I get any new piece of news about that, yeah, I'm probably going to be stuck on it. I want to know what's going on with the guy who sued me for $100 million.
So I can't fault, which is what made the lawsuit happen, though.
But I find it endless. Every story I hear about Maddox, I find it endlessly fascinating. It's a story of a man who was at the top. He had a hit podcast. He had a beloved website. He was an internet celebrity to no end, and he just made a continuous series of decisions to keep screwing himself over and over and over.
Yes.
And at any point, everyone was people like you were telling him, Maddox, fucking stop. Just stop. At any point, just stop. Own up to what you did wrong, and you can come back and you can just do comedy again. And I honestly thought, he said, I got a new video coming out. I'm like, finally, he has a path forward. I'm gonna make funny internet videos again. And my heart is broken that he comes back and he's doing this exact same. He's getting back into the same shit that ruined him. It drives me up a wall. I find it tragic. But I don't know, man. And that's why you say, well, why do people keep talking about Maddox? It's like, I don't know. Why do you watch a monk set himself on fire? You can't look away. Okay? It's a train wreck. I'm watching a man continually board a train and crash it into a fucking building, and then he gets out of the wreckage and he does it again 10 minutes later. I wish it would stop. I want him to stop crashing the train, but he won't. And it breaks my heart. Maddox, you're a talented guy. Just make funny videos. Okay. Stardust, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you
for
coming.
Jesse. Keep it up. You got a great looking show.
Thanks.
All
also,
right,
I'm
buddy.
sorry that I'm dressed like Justin Whang right now.
Somebody in the chat thought you were Justin Whang, so you did a very good job.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that. I was like,
I
is that on
apologize. I'm
purpose?
wearing Asian eye makeup right now. It seems
Okay. Well, you know what? In the pursuit of comedy, no, you can never go too far. Have fun.